SmarmBros, I am Jacob Charles.
Yes, and this is Rich. We are here together. Welcome to the SmarmBros podcast. We've got an amazing episode today.
Follow us on Instagram at SmarmBros, Twitter at SmarmBros, Facebook SmarmBros.
Visit our Amazon link, smarmbros.com/Amazon.
This week, here we go. Beering, weeding, Vodk-ing.
The Smarm moving Sitch, which has been a long-running segment on the podcast.
It's great stuff. Dr. Rich says Charlie is the most negative person he's ever met. More on this in Hour 1. Hour 2.
SmarmBrews. We introduced our new segment, SmarmBrews, with our beer reviews.
It'll be beer, it'll be vodka, it'll be other drinks of all kinds that inebriate you in some way or another. I'll also talk about a Kickstarter that's going to be started for adults, silicone eating utensils. Are you guys ready?
Not just for babies anymore.
The Potato Hack, Charlie's Health Hacks, a mega segment this week, spanning over 2 hours worth of content. Are you ready?
That's right.
Potatoes are that important, wouldn't you agree?
I would.
Anyways, the robot is shut down for the week, and then we talk a little bit about NASA versus SpaceX. Please enjoy the shit out of this. The tape's rolling.
Well, then it's time for some beers. That's what I'm saying, for sure. It's a good thing we just went out and ate some food, because otherwise I was going to have to start...
Got to Instagram it, hold on.
Start beering here, beering off course.
It's not funny.
Without... It is funny. Without any food in my stomach for the whole day. But now it's going to be easier for you, since we went and had some food.
Because I'm having beer?
No, because you don't have to deal with me getting way too drunk too fast.
How many beers did you bring?
I think I've got like 10.
Is that enough?
Or 9. I mean, I'm not going to drink them all.
How many do you think you can drink?
I just happen to have that 12-pack in my car.
We could make this go for 6 or 7 hours if you want to try to drink them all.
I don't, though. I don't
Why
think
not?
I can be around you that long. I'm already pushing it for the day.
That's not nice. That's the least smarmy thing you could say, possibly. I'm Instagramming the beer in the hand right now.
Perfect.
Follow us on Instagram at SmarmBros.com, not at SmarmBrothers.
If you want to see what we're drinking, you just got to follow us, because we're not going to say. I mean, you know it's beer, but you don't know what kind unless you follow us.
They could be watching live right now. In fact, that's probably what's going on. As per norm, I have my asparagus drinking glass. Used to have pickled asparagus spears in it, but I repurposed it. That's a little frugal hack for all you guys out there. If you don't want to go out and buy some fancy
You're
drinking
being
glasses.
Green. Like asparagus. Yep.
That's a funny.
Way to go.
You're 2 for 2 so far.
Yeah, thanks. Get
Let's see,
ready.
what kind of filter should we use for this? That's a real question.
We don't need to. I don't think this is interesting to listen to.
To filter it? What filter do you guys think we should use? See, look. What filter? No filter? Hashtag no filter?
I guess. I'm not on the Instagrams, so I'm not sure.
Well, you are now. It's not Smarm Charlie. Maybe I should just do that instead.
Hey, whatever makes you feel good, you know? That's my saying. I always say that. That's my
all right
catchphrase.
SmarmBros, SmarmCast. Starting off with some beer.
Yep. I think this is the first time beer has made an appearance on the SmarmBros podcast.
We welcome beer to the show for the first time. Woo!
Lovely, lovely.
My hand is... I have to clap with my
lovely,
wrist.
cheap, on-sale beer. See, you should be proud of me. Because the reason I bought this particular beer is because it was the best deal. I was embracing my inner Charlie for that.
So, Costco sells Kirkland brand beer. And on Bransky's Blue Collar Brew Review, which is a segment on another show, Gary Zabransky, he reviews the Kirkland brand beer, and he says this is the worst beer he's ever tasted in his life.
Really?
So the way he does it is he drinks it out of like a fine wine drinking glass, so you can get all of the aromas. It's like a $95 glass or something. Or no, it's an $85 glass. The $95 one was broken by their cleaner lady. Not Raina, the other one.
How often does he describe beers as the worst he's ever had? Because it seems
he has a technique. He drinks the first one at like directly from like the dry ice freezer, you know. And then he lets the other one go to room temperature, and he tastes it. And he says that was the only beer that's like tasted putrid to him, like unbearably bad.
Well, good to know. Thanks for the tip. I wasn't planning on buying beer.
So
at
that
Costco.
might be a step up from. But you got to try the Costco beer. Is what I'm saying. We got to get on that Kirkland brand. If I didn't sell it to you just then, I mean, come on.
Nah.
3-hour jog, bagel limes. What's our other hashtag? SmarmCast.
Yeah. Hashtag. I told you I'm not good at this.
Your brain like just disconnects when the word hashtag comes out. Short circuit. All right, that's posted up. So we're starting the show off right with some imported
hashtag game time
product of Holland. If that gives you guys a hint, it's from Holland. Okay, so
it's weed beer.
Good luck trying to figure out what it is.
Oh man. I should go to the dispensary and buy some weed beer. Hemp beer? I'm sure they make that.
Well, I tried the soda, and it was the grossest thing I've ever had in my life.
It was so hyperbolous.
It was just like a fucking a viscous weed drink. Like, it didn't even taste like root beer. It was supposed to be root beer, but it was like weed with like a hint of root beer.
Yeah, of course it tastes like weed.
It's gross.
It tastes nasty. Good to me, weed taste.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in a soda form with like lots of sugary or lots of sweetness. You know? Sweet beer.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet weed? No.
Speaking of weed, I just had some of the old cannabis for the first time in months and months and months on the 4th of July. Had some on the 4th of July. I split...
You made it happen.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, we talked about, I think I bought the Smarm Dad for Father's Day, big blunt and a joint from the marijuana store, corporate
legally purchased.
store. Yeah, legally purchased here. Walk
legally
in. They
used.
looked at my idea. They looked at my ID.
Boy. Are you okay there?
I'm out of it, man. I'm just like...
We did exercise today. We got some moving done.
Mm-hmm.
We could be professional movers. I think that's how good we were, especially when everything fell over in the truck as we were driving from point A to point B.
I knew that was going to happen.
I did too, but I just I didn't care. You know, I was just like, that's how it goes.
Anyway, so before 4th of July, the last time I had marijuana was in September of the previous year. So it's been a really long time. And
been off the wagon.
Before that...
Are you back on nice and hardcore again?
No. This is where I'm going. Before that, I was doing it like all day, every day. Like every single activity had to be prepped for by having weed, whether the activity was just
you were getting dug 24/7.
Yeah, I was hitting it hard, waking and baking, all of it. And I've been worried about trying weed again because I've been worried about feeling like, it's like this addict mentality of, if I try it one more time, then I'm just going to be back hooked on it, and I'm going to be doing it just the same way I was before. But it's really not what happened, and it makes me feel really good. It actually, overall, was not a pleasant experience for me to be on weed. Like, there was a lot about it that I didn't like. It made me feel really self-conscious. It made me made my mind start racing and just made my thoughts were more scrambled and
That's what I don't like about weed.
Less easily
really scrambled thoughts.
It took me out of the moment. It made it really, really hard for me to be present in what was happening as opposed to thinking, thinking about what's going on in other people's heads. And that's just not a good time. So, the body high was all right, but it wasn't,
right.
It wasn't as good as it was underwhelming. Like, people that are serious weed smokers, they'll tell you, like, they'll sometimes quit smoking weed for like a month or whatever, just like on purpose, just so that they can reset their tolerance. And then when they smoke it again, they get way higher, like they haven't been in a long time, because when you smoke it all the time, it's just your tolerance puts an edge on how you feel.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like, whoa, I'm way higher than I thought I should be. It just felt like I was as high as I would have gotten if I had been smoking weed this whole time. So it wasn't even worth it in that regard.
Did it make the fireworks look really cool?
No.
Oh.
No, it made them look
It's a
normal.
buzzkill, bro.
No, it was really... That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel good about it because I had this substance that I used to be addicted to and, like, needed to have all the time. And then I didn't do it for a long time, and I was kind of worried about trying it again. And when I tried it again, I realized that it's not as great as I thought it was. It's not. I don't need it as much as I thought I did. It might be fine to have, I think, in a social situation every once in a while, but I'm definitely not going to. I'm not going to be a pothead again. I'm not going to be waking and baking. I'm not going to be doing it all day. I'm not going to be doing it at home alone. It's just not. That's what alcohol's for.
It's behind. Yeah, alcoholic.
Yeah,
not a weedaholic. I'm an alcoholic.
So, but my 4th of July was really great. Other than that,
they had fireworks 10 minutes on the dot.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long the show lasted.
Yeah, 10-minute fireworks show. There was debris raining down everywhere.
My favorite thing about 4th of July is how angry my dad gets when he hears that I didn't film it. And, like, everybody... So, first of all, filming fireworks is just stupid. This is my opinion. I just think nobody's, like, looking up firework videos on YouTube.
Right.
It's, like, the dumbest thing ever. And, secondly, he was... I think everybody there had their cell phone pulled out.
Really?
Like, everybody was filming it.
I didn't even notice.
Well, you weren't in the moment.
I was in the moment when the fireworks were happening, but I definitely didn't have my cell phone out. I was watching the fireworks show.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, like I know a bunch of people had this. They were filming the whole thing, uploaded directly to YouTube. Jay was like, one person was live streaming it to YouTube. Yeah. Or Facebook or whatever. Facebook, YouTube live stream. And I don't know. I just don't. It's just funny how angry people get. Like people who are like related to you when you don't do what they want. It's funny to me.
Had he made it, like, did he ask you to film it previously?
No, not really.
So he just expected that someone else would film it for him.
Well, he asked, but it's just like I told him no.
Right.
It's like I tell you no. I'm like, no, dude, somebody else is going to film it. And
why? Why do
it.
you... How often are you going to go back and watch...
Never.
Your fireworks show that you
I've
just
done videos
saw?
that are really amazingly interesting that I've never watched again. This show included. Never. Got to watch it on twice speed, 2x speed. Hit that little button in the bottom right corner of the YouTube video. Play it on 2x.
Yep. Right down there. Boop, boop, boop. The little gear.
That's right. And you do that, and you watch it all the way through, and we get credit for that. So,
yeah.
I don't make $1 per view. I make like half a cent per view. So if you could just watch every episode thousands of times, I'd be very
on all
grateful
your
for that.
different devices and computers and tablets. Just set it running and walk away from it. It's fine.
Yeah, they're ad-supported, so click on the ads when they pop up. Turn off your ad blocker. Click on the ad. You don't need to buy anything from the advertiser, but if you want to, that's your prerogative. Okay, not mine. So, thanks.
We did it.
I'm just trying to...
That's going to be the turning point.
Look, I understand that the internet is a complicated place. It's like a jungle full of lots of wolves and bears, and I'm just trying to explain...
Bit owls.
I'm just trying to explain to the people how the internet works. You know, internet survival. That's my gig. Internet survival.
Is this a new segment?
No. I mean, it's not a segment. It's a way of life. Okay. It's a lifestyle.
All right.
What are you laughing about? Am I making a joke?
I think you're funny.
Thanks. Appreciate that. You're funny sometimes, too.
Thanks.
So,
I guess.
Sometimes thanks. Yeah. Well, that's nice. So you're not addicted to weed again, huh?
No.
And you're happy about that.
I don't want to do it again.
George Carlin always said that weed is like a value-changing drug, and the way it works is you do it for a period of life, and then you only do it occasionally after that if you enjoyed that period. And for some people, that period is a couple of years. For some people, that period is a couple of days or one time. You know, Bernie Sanders, look, I smoked pot one time back in college. You know, like all the president nominees say stuff like that. So, wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. So, oh man. Well, I got some in my asparagus drinking glass. I got some sparkling water that was left here. It's been over a month since it was left here, so I just figured it was free game.
I'm glad you're using it.
Yeah. Well, my soda stream doesn't work, so I can't. I got to get it refilled. Got to get some put some carbon in that bad boy.
Right. Needs
carbon dioxide. Carbon-based life forms. Well, so if you're beering, you were weeding, and
I did weed on the 4th.
And I'm Vodk-ing.
But before that...
I don't have any more vodka, though. I should have stopped at Costco when we were there and gotten some more unbranded vodka. This show brought to you by unbranded vodka. Most shows, most nights, most days. That's how I get through the days lately.
In a daze.
Yeah. Well, it's probably best if I just don't have any for a couple weeks, because I'm going on this adventure. This... potato adventure.
Potato adventure, yes.
People keep breaking my potato adventure. I'm about to get into it, and then I break it off. I cut it off. And it's not because of my own... Well, it is, ultimately. Everything is my fault. You know, I have a choice. You have choices in life. You can say, no thanks. Water with ice and lime, please. That's it. Or you can be like, yeah, show me the scotch. Show me the wine list.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk to your sommelier. You know? You have a choice, is what I'm trying to say. So unbranded vodka from Clearwater Springs, or whatever that fucking place is. We don't know.
Red Square vodka.
It was probably distilled all over the place, and they just, like, mixed them all together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They just mixed...
It's like the runoff from making other vodka.
Oh, yeah, I can taste the dead insects in that. I can taste the leaves that made it. They weren't able to filter those out very well.
Yeah.
Gives it that nice bit of non-vodka flavor. You got a nice shirt on there. You got some fashion, so some Stealing Axion shirt, a couple stains on it.
It's a moving shirt.
You made a good decision, because you saw the shirt that I had to ditch earlier. How covered in dust it was.
These aren't stains. These are from when we just ate. It's just some splatter.
Okay,
it's going to wash out.
So it's sort of like a seasoning.
I'm a messy eater sometimes.
T-shirt seasoning.
I don't know why
like
you had to bring it up.
You season like a cast iron pan. You got to season the shirt a little bit.
And
get the flavor
Put
going.
it in the oven for a while.
Very low, though. You don't want to catch on fire.
Very low.
Just put it in the smoker. I still got my smoker. I was thinking about using it again before Yeah, well, I mean, so smart moving Sitch is something that's totally uninteresting, but it's interesting to me just because I've lived in the same place for such a long time, and I've acquired things because my lifestyle is that I eat very healthily. I try to know what's in my food, and I exercise at home because I don't believe in a gym membership, and I've saved lots of money by doing that. Let me tell you, tremendous amounts of money. And I've acquired what seemed like a lot of stuff, but it's actually not that much stuff, as we saw today, because I virtually cleared out 80% of my apartment, 70% of my apartment. It's about 70%. 80% of all the big stuff, let me put it that way. The only big things left are my bed and my desk. That's it.
You've still got Box Mountain.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean...
I just don't know, like, what I might need those boxes for a few things. First of all, I'm probably going to sell a lot of the stuff that and buy and rebuy it later on, or a new version of it that's in the boxes. But I am moving soon, and I don't know if I want to go out and buy more of those banker boxes, and just like throw all my old boxes out and like try to rearrange things like that.
Of course, that's what you should do.
Because those banker boxes aren't really big enough for the records. Like, I have these collectible vinyl records from Artie and Lucasen, and they don't fit in the banker boxes at all. No matter what way you move them around, they just don't fit. So those are going to have to go in one of the larger boxes. And then on top of that, there are just some products that I'm going to throw up on eBay this week, and hopefully I can get some money for them. I'm going to return my food slicer. And I bought a aftermarket, like, better, sharper blade that I'm going to throw up on eBay and see if anybody buys. And so if you guys own a Chef's Choice food slicer and you want the best blade you can buy, I'm going to throw it up there for 99 cents, $20 shipping. And that's what you got to do, right? I actually don't know how much it would be to ship. Like, if I ship it to the furthest place away, it'd probably be about $10-15.
Throw it in a bubble mailer. It'll be fine.
It might actually fit like that, yeah. But kind of going through all my stuff, it took me one day really I have a couple of dressers, lots of shelves and tables and furniture. I have a big power rack that I use to do exercise with. And how would you rate, like, you've moved a lot of stuff. You've gotten rid of a lot of junk out of people's houses, I don't know if you've ever told stories about that. I've asked you about stories, but you refuse to get into it.
It's too traumatic.
Yeah, of course. How would you rate today's kind of move on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 to 10 moving trucks. 1 to 10 U-Hauls. Do you give it like a 5 U-Hauls out of 10?
I would give it a 2, simply because of third floor apartment. Yeah.
Wow. That kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Even I did buy you Mongolian grill, and it was a 1, but it got raised up to a 2.
You told me to rate the move, not what happened after the move. What happened after was great. What happened after
grill,
was not like...
Look, hold on, wait. Mongolian grill, and that happened right after the move. Okay, it's all this big experience, we're all one experience when you think about one consciousness, one experience. All right, Rich gives the move 2 out of 10.
Well, I thought
I like top floor though. It's quiet.
I thought you were
spacious.
you did that as a thank you for me helping you.
I did,
but I guess now it turns out that it's actually just so that you can get a more favorable truck score on my moving review. U-Haul score.
Yeah. No, we shouldn't use U-Haul. They're branded. They're probably trademarked.
Right.
You should probably think of,
YOU Haul.
Yeah.
No, the steps going
$9 in total is what it cost me.
It doesn't.
And $9.02 I think was the gas bill. Got a free moving truck with the storage unit that I'm renting. I'm hopefully only renting it for 1 more month, and I will have spent in total a couple $100, and it will have been worth it. It will not have been worth it if I end up having the storage unit for months and months and months. So that's where they get you.
That's what's going to happen.
And no, that's not what's going to happen. I got to find a new place to live.
Listen, you love having a bunch of stuff. And
I don't want to pay for a storage unit,
the great thing about a storage unit is it increases your capacity to hold on to a bunch of useless stuff. And that's right up your alley. That's exactly what you want.
You realize right now what you're doing. You're being an enabler.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You enabled yourself when you got the storage unit.
You need to...
You're looking at these super expensive apartments just because they got more square feet, just so you can have another box mountain, right? That's what you need that square footage for, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, I don't think it makes sense to be paying more for more space for your box mountain.
I like space.
You can fill it with box mountains, I know.
I need elbow room. I need room to grow.
What I've been trying to explain to you is
Stop calling it box mountain.
That you could just not have the box mountain and then have a smaller place, and it seems like more space when you don't fill it with junk.
All those boxes, and if you haven't seen Box Mountain, go to our Instagram page. At SmarmBros is our handle on Instagram. Go ahead and give us a follow. Give us a couple of likes.
And keep in mind, it's the most... Box Mountain is the most organized that all of the boxes have ever been in Charlie's apartment.
No, what I did was I have a storage unit in my apartment.
Uh-huh.
I took everything out of that and put it there.
Right.
So that I can get a visualization, one dimension, like what everything looks like.
Uh-huh.
So, do you follow me?
I get it. Yeah, that's exactly what your new storage unit is going to turn into.
I really hope that's not the case.
Well,
I'm consciously making it not the case, so I don't appreciate you at all right now. This is the least smart I've ever felt about you, ever.
Well, I already think you're doing it wrong because we moved some stuff that you're planning on selling into your storage unit, which is just dumb.
Well, I don't...
Because you could have put them on Craigslist, and instead of us having...
I don't want people coming to my house. And the other thing, too,
is... You can meet them in the parking lot of your apartment building. They would never know which unit you're even in.
But I wouldn't be able to bring it down.
Sure you would.
No. Not everything. So... But regardless of that, like, whether I sell... I'm going to try to sell it, but if I don't sell it, I'm going to use it. So, it's not a big deal to me. Like, it's an okay piece of furniture. All the things that it's just I don't need them. I don't have a massive attachment to them. I could even leave them on the side of the road and it wouldn't be a big deal. I would just, that's not a good frugal hack for you guys out there that are trying to be frugal. Craigslist, good place. But you don't want to get stabbed and murdered, so you don't want people coming to your place.
Doesn't happen that often.
This area, it happens quite a bit. In this area...
No.
The first Craigslist killing was here. In Edgewood, actually, over a diamond ring. Edgewood's right there.
Yeah.
So less than 5 minutes from us.
So you mean not over like a $5 piece of Walmart furniture?
Right. Well, the way they did it, there's been many since then, but the way they did it at that time was it had nothing to do with the value of the property or anything. It was just like a murderer, like just a serial like killer wanted to just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his method of doing it. You know what I mean? Just like... Contact him on Craigslist. Make him think that you're somebody who you're not. Then you show up and... Hi. Can I see the ring? And then you stab him to death. Or whatever.
Sure.
However you want to kill him.
Well, I've sold tons of stuff on Craigslist. And
I have too.
Never had any issue.
I've had people come over to my house.
People have come to my house. Nothing's ever been stolen.
No, I'm not saying... I've had the same experience multiple times, but I just don't believe in it.
Okay.
Like, if I can do it differently, I'm going to. And that's where this whole thing comes in. And it's, I got it worked out pretty simply.
So how are you going to sell the stuff that's in the storage unit?
If somebody wants to buy it, I'll wheel it out to them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You won't be too worried about them meeting you at the storage unit?
I'm not going to meet them at the unit. I'm going to bring it down to, like, the elevators area.
Right. But then they'll know that's where you keep your storage unit.
Yeah, but there's security cameras there. And they won't know what number unit I am.
We don't know if those cameras actually work.
No, they do. You can see them in the front lobby. Trust me. I did a tremendous job researching this facility. And when I moved in, there was a guy right next to me, my neighbor, my storage neighbor. So I get the... So these storage places, they do everything really well. Like, you kind of have to, because if you're renting storage for $100 a month, and it's kind of shady, you probably don't want to be storing your stuff there, you know, because people care about their stuff, as we've established. Oh, you got a re-beer? All right, well, I'll tell the story. I already told you. You know this, so I'll tell it for some of the listeners out there, for you guys. And so you receive 2 keys and you receive a lock at this particular storage place that I'm renting from. And they give you the lock, and there are all these rules, and you have to fill out a ton of paperwork just to rent a 10 by 10 space, almost more than my actual lease on my apartment. And I go there just to put the lock on. So they hand me the lock, and I'm sitting at the front desk like, oh, thanks for the lock. Like, I'm supposed to bring this down to my empty storage unit and put it on there. And they're like, don't lose the lock, because if you lose the lock, it's an extra $30 fine or something like that. It's a really nice lock, too, so I didn't want to lose it. So I decide a little bit later to bring it down and just put the lock on my storage door. And I bring it down there, and I open up the store. I open the storage door, and I close the storage door, and I get a handle on how to, I got to figure out how to lock it. And my storage neighbor right next to me, he's sitting there. He's got his door open. He's like hanging out. He's like hanging out at his storage place. He wasn't bringing anything to it or taking anything out of it. He was just hanging out there.
I mean, how do you know? He could have just brought some stuff to it.
No, he was just standing there. Like, he might have had a TV on or something. He was watching it, or I don't know what he was doing. But he was like, yo, man, moving in. He's kind of an old guy, kind of creepy beard and glasses. And
moving into my storage unit.
Yeah. Just moving in, buddy. And I'm like, yeah, weirdo. I didn't say that, but I thought it. Because he is.
Don't judge.
I'm sorry. Well, you judge everybody every day.
Not
so
true.
I'm allowed to as well.
Not true.
So, all right, Mr. 2 out of 10, judging our 3rd floor apartment here.
I was rating my own experience of moving.
It. Okay.
That had nothing to do with anyone else.
Look, you were being judgy.
Which is not judging people at all.
Don't be so judgy.
Just so you know, everyone out there, you can judge your own subjective experience of things.
He was hanging out at his storage unit. Like, he just had his stuff, and he was just there with his stuff, and he was like, man, this is a good time.
Was he already there when you got there?
Yeah, and he was there when I left, too.
So he could have just finished moving some stuff in and then decided to hang out for a while.
What I'm telling the listener is that's not the case at all.
You don't know that, though.
Well, he was there with his stuff, and he was just hanging out, and he was like, man, I come here all the time. He said something to the effect of that. He's like,
get away from the wife.
Yeah, he's so, and I think that what you said to me earlier makes a little bit of sense. That some people just have the storage unit as like their time away from the wife, their man cave or whatever, away from home. But there's no power inputs there. You're not allowed to have like a whole laundry list of things there. Can't have food there. Like, what the fuck? Come on,
you're not allowed to live there. It's bullshit.
It's stupid, really. I agree with that. And basically, so I'm there and I'm fiddling with it, trying to like close it. And he's like, "Bro, you got to step on the thing to close it." And it's like, "Oh, thanks." Okay, so he helps me like lock it up. And this guy's like a pro. Like, I could tell this guy was a seasoned vet of that storage facility. He goes there all the time, and he's seen a lot. He's probably had a lot of storage facilities, and he like settled on this one finally after like years of searching. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's been around the block because he's like, this is one of the best units I've ever seen in my life. It's the most secure. The people here are friendly. So the only downside, in my opinion, is it's not 24 hours. But that might be an upside because it's less likely that you'll be murdered.
When I used to work for the junk removal company, storage units used to always be like the jackpots. It would be like it would be one of our jobs we look forward to the most.
Because you get to take everything, right?
Yeah, because it's the most highest probability of finding nice stuff that we could either keep or take home and then sell on the side. Because
of how stringent they are on what can and can't be there, you're not going to find a lot of storage units that are like super dirty and gross and horribly you're not going to find any food issues that you would probably see a lot in Got Junk.
There was a lot of them of people who were getting shipped off to war when I was working at junk removal business, and it's like they had to get they didn't want to, but they had to get rid of their storage unit stuff because they were being shipped out in like a week or whatever. And they had to stand there while they watched us load up all of their stuff that they would prefer to keep and then pay us to take it away for them. And, like, there was one where I got, like, 2 sets of wheels, like, performance rims and tires on them that I sold for, like, $800 each set.
Technically, you're not allowed to do that, right? But you did it.
When you work for unnamed junk removal company, as far as I'm concerned, you can do whatever you want.
So I should probably change this note that I'm going to post from that to something else.
Yeah.
Even though I just said it a minute ago.
They didn't hear.
They don't listen to this show anyways.
Yeah.
Although our one female listener is going to email us saying, "Excuse me, litigation incoming."
But anyway, that's the only job I was ever fired from anyway, so as far as I'm concerned,
really?
They can go piss up a rope.
I didn't know you got fired from that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you quit.
That's what I told everyone.
Ah. But now the secret's
Well, I
out.
quit first.
Cat's out of the bag.
I quit first, and then I got laid off from the job that I quit that job from, so then I went back to junk removal company, and then I got fired from there.
There you go.
So I quit and got fired, just not at the same time.
When you got fired, was it for something malicious?
Malicious?
Yeah. Did they find out you were, like, stealing and selling merchandise or something like that?
No. I was just...
Lazy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate being fired for being lazy.
I got fired because I didn't want to go walking around soliciting door to door for junk removal business. Because there are not any neighborhoods, basically, where soliciting is allowed. So, you know, it's kind of an issue.
Well, what they do is, I overheard a phone call when I was... So one of the nice things about this unit that I got is it included a free moving truck for one day of moving all your junk to your storage facility.
Like we did today.
Yeah. That's not junk. Them's are my things. And
all right, tell that to your neighbor.
Yeah. And free moving truck, and in order for that to be free and to be legit, they're like, we're going to need a $150 cash deposit in an envelope. Cash. Kind of weird, right? Kind of giving me the creeps a little bit. Kind of illegitimate.
Very specific.
And I bring it in an envelope, and I'm like, okay, look, $150. I show it to them, and I put it in the envelope. Then I, lick it up.
Seal it.
And then she's like, all right, here, let's put a seal on that. Tape it up. Now put your initials underneath the tape. And then I have to fill out like 3 or 4 different forms just to borrow the truck for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like... she didn't catch it. I handed her my old insurance card either. I handed her an expired insurance card. She didn't catch it. Like, I was prepared to be like, well, the card's expired, so I haven't printed out a new one. Here's my current info or whatever. And so at that point, I was kind of like, all right, they don't really care about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
They're just doing it so they don't get sued or something. And I get the truck, and it's like so beat up and old. And the mirror, like... falls down every time you try to repeat. Like, first off, I don't think I've been in a car in the last 10 years where it doesn't have like an internal mirror rotating, like,
yeah, this was
joystick.
an all manual.
All manual. It had the windows with the rolling. It didn't have the electric
crank windows.
Yeah,
just like in my car.
And it kind of had a very odd way of accelerating where it feels like you're going over a bumpy road when you're accelerating.
Yeah, that's not normal.
And yeah, but it was free, and total cost for me was $9 in gas, and it could have even been a little bit less in gas, but I think $9 is a pretty good steal. So if you guys are looking for storage facilities, try to get the ones that have the free moving truck with the move, because overall it was a positive experience. They inspected it when I brought it back. And we trashed the thing, let me tell you. We were partying. We were party animals, weren't we, Rich? Big-time party animals,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we loaded it up, and shit fell over, and we didn't care. I didn't give a fuck. Okay?
Yeah, it didn't damage the truck
Fucking
at all.
badass.
But some of your stuff might have gotten messed up.
Nah. It seemed all pretty good to me. There wasn't enough stuff really to get damaged. Well, it's just interesting because when you kind of lay it all out and we take it all down, I don't really think I have that much stuff. for living by myself for 5 years, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So I've been stressing about this stuff for the last several weeks.
Pretty bad.
And it's not really that bad. So I thought it was way worse, is what I'm trying to tell you, you know? And I assure you that you thought it was way worse as well.
Nah.
And it's not. So as far as Box Mountain is concerned, that doesn't even matter to me. Okay?
That's kind of an issue, though, right?
No, there's stuff in those boxes that...
Right.
Most of those boxes are empty, by the way. So it's not like we could throw out 80% of those boxes and it wouldn't be a big deal.
It'd be great if it would actually happen that way.
But I'm just thinking we should use those boxes for firewood or for flame starters. And then maybe we should rent like a camping space somewhere. And then we have the boxes to use to like fuel the fire. See, that's hoarder mentality. When you start getting down to that kind of minutia, I'm going to sell it. These are authentic bags that I bought for $700. Ma'am, these are ripoffs.
Or
They're worth maybe $20 at best.
You know what else?
I paid $700 for these bags. Hoarders is a very depressing show to me.
What else is a hoarder's mentality is something that you actually said just not too many minutes ago, which is, I can't get rid of that. I might need it.
I might need it?
Mm-hmm.
Might need what?
All those boxes.
I don't need any of the boxes, really.
Oh, good.
But
that's a good turnaround from what you said before.
Well, if I said that, that's not exactly what I meant. So don't take me out of context. I'm constantly quoted in the mainstream media as being taken out of context, and you can't take me out of context. It's tremendously bad. That's a crooked thing to do. Crooked Rich. Crooked Rich. Rich is so crooked. How
All
crooked
I'm saying
is Rich?
Is that when we live together, I will not allow Box Mountain. Okay, I will not allow
trust
this
me,
crazy
it'll
buildup.
be in our apartment storage. Trust me, that's it. It'll be taking up all 100 square feet of our in-apartment storage. So, no, most of those boxes I don't need. So
good.
The only ones that I really need.
So
are
in a week
like
they'll
the
be
drums, drum boxes. Well, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with everything in the next couple weeks. Because I don't know if it'll all fit in it'll probably all fit in my storage facility if it comes down to it. If I just don't have my shit together, quick enough. But my plan now is I incrementally take things that'll fit in my car. I drive it over to the 2 blocks down the road.
Take a carload a day.
That's what I'm thinking. That sounds like a good strategy to me. Is that your strategy?
That's what I would do. But a carload a day for me, would be 2 carloads, and that would be everything I own. So my situation's a little different.
Right. Well, you're a minimalist, and I'm I'm a homeowner, basically. That's how I live. Kind of like a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is I don't want to live in one place permanently. I've only lived here in Boston, and I like Boston, but I don't love it. So I need to live somewhere else. I need to live around the world is what I'm trying to get at.
Not going to be able to do that with
Maybe
all this
Canada.
stuff that you have.
No, you totally can. Rich, you need to have an open mind about it, okay? You can live with the stuff that we put in the storage facility. I can take all that stuff with me if I want to. It's furniture, Rich. It's furniture. It's my gym.
But it would be so much easier if you didn't, is what I'm saying.
What I think I'm going to do
is... You could just be I want to move in a couple weeks. And it would be just, so easy to do and not stressful at all.
Well, the thing you mentioned earlier about hiring a moving company, that's starting to make more and more sense as I kind of do the math, because it'll cost a couple of grand. But what's the cost? What would it cost for you to rent a storage facility for several months, move your stuff to and from your house to the storage facility? There's a lot of labor involved in doing that, and then so there might, I think the storage facility is worth it in my case, but as long as I'm out of there in the next 2 months. Okay, if it's longer than that, the only time it can make sense, the only time I think it's okay if it's longer than that is if I'm looking at job prospects out of the state, which is possible. So, that's the one thing I'm stressing out about right now is I just got a job offer earlier today, and we'll see how I interview with that. One of my I interviewed with a bunch of places in the last couple weeks, and one of my interviewers finally got his feedback to me, and he said I was like too negative. But it was a phone interview. It's like, so I didn't get the job because he, instead of hiring somebody for this area, he moved somebody here from like San Francisco, which totally makes sense because the person that's working for this job making $50,000 a year in San Francisco, they're barely being able to pay rent. So they move here. They're going to be able to pay. It's still expensive compared to a lot of other places that I've looked at, but it's not nearly as bad as San Francisco. And yeah, so have you heard of this company ELO? EELO? They do like home Wi-Fi stuff. So that's
what does that mean?
I don't know. Let's look it up. We don't have our.
They do home Wi-Fi, like for people that don't understand how to hook up their own router. Yes,
exactly. ELO, not ELO University.
ELO Solutions.
ELO Wi-Fi. Maybe if I put it in there, or is it Eero?
Eero was the person you were phone interviewing with Asian.
Ah, that's not funny. Maybe I'm misremembering it.
Blanket your home in fast, reliable Wi-Fi. Oh, there's a cappuccino machine on the homepage and a hipster Edison bulb sculpture.
So this company seemed kind of cool. She was describing it to me over the phone. You can, instead of needing like a website to like speedtest.net, apparently it's all app connected and your router can't do this, it says. Eero, E-E-R-O. So this could be a cool company. She was describing the product, and it seemed interesting. Pays pretty well. So as good as the other job that I didn't get. And then one of them we haven't heard back about, but I assume that I didn't get it. But the only comment on there, so he just moved somebody. That's really, what it boils down to is that's why I didn't get it. But the only comment was, he's a little negative, which I think everybody is at times. But I'm like not nearly as negative as most of the people I work with at that company. Like, and it was... He's negative about one of his former jobs, and the only job I talked about was the company that I'm reapplying for. So, silly. And I have no negative experience really in my last job either, which is kind of weird. I guess I did in the first year, but I worked there 5 years, so it's like 4 years of awesomeness.
I think you're a very negative person.
I think I'm just intense.
You need to work on that.
My therapist never mentioned anything about negativity, so I don't believe that. I talk with her about it quite a bit, but I haven't seen my therapist in some time. So maybe I'm starting to like be really negative lately because of that.
Dr. Rich
just
says
horrible, just worse and worse and worse.
You're the most negative person he's ever met.
Oh yeah, is that because of the moving Sitch?
No.
Well, come on, Dr. Rich, give us some health tips from the Smarmacy.
I don't really have any health tips. You can
you do have a health tip. Eat at Mongolian Grill, right?
Well, that's a Charlie's health hack.
Well, if you're going to eat at Mongolian Grill, your health hack or your health tip from the Smarmacy is the noodles are healthy because they're spinach noodles.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the spinach ones, yeah. You can get the spinach noodles. They're made spinach noodles made of spinach, healthy. Spinach is healthy. Noodles made of spinach are healthy.
Noodles, great. Spinach, nasty crap. Spinach noodles, amazing.
Spinach is great.
Oh, no. Nope. Can't do it. Not going to do it. Spinach isn't that good. It's really good for you, apparently, though.
It's delicious.
Popeye eats a lot of spinach.
In the can, though.
Isn't the canned kind the best? Extra salt, more electrolytes? No. Yeah. I'm trying to get the doctor's like take on all this stuff.
The doctor's kind of...
If I was having a conversation with my doctor and he was just going like with everything, I'd be like, "Thanks, doc."
Yeah, shrugging
I got a
and
great
shaking
doc.
his head.
Yeah,
the doctor prescribed himself too many opiates this afternoon. So.
Oh yeah, takes him while he's working. Can't do work without that brain fog. Dr. Rich says Charlie's the most negative person he's ever met. That's going to be in the show notes.
Perfect.
Did you have any links? Any links from the last show that you need me to post on the page?
Yeah, I can get around to that sometime.
In the next
eventually. 5 to 10 business days.
Like we want you guys to. So there are a couple of things we need you guys to do. So we need the Smarm Army, the Smarmatary. the Smarm V, not the Navy, it doesn't work. The Smarm Force.
Smarmreens.
Smarmreens, yeah, Smarmreens. We need you guys to, assemble. The Army needs to assemble. The Smarmy needs to assemble. And we need everyone that listens to this show. If you get this far in hour 1, we're 50 minutes in, right around 50 minutes, somewhere around there. We need you guys to, subscribe to us on iTunes if you haven't yet already, okay? Subscribe to our podcast, subscribe to the show. There's 2 things you can do for podcasts that really help, okay? Well, there's a lot of things, but these are 2 that we need you guys to do that won't require any effort or any money, okay? So subscribe to our show, and then leave a positive review. If you are our one female listener, give us 5 stars out of 5, okay, or 10 stars out of 10. Give us maximum stars, and then say whatever you want, okay? You can say whatever you want. You can 5 stars out of 5. This show is really a waste of my time. I don't care that you say that as long as it's 5 stars out of 5, okay? We need you to rate the show. That's the only. So these ratings, do they really matter? No. Do they matter to us? Yes, because we need to get a little more visibility on iTunes, okay? And other, podcast rankings. Podcastrankings.com.
Sure, the Billboard podcast charts.
JeepSupplies.com.
Yeah.
Podcastrankings.org. The organization that ranks podcasts. Okay, assemble the Smarmy.
Rankings.podcasts. Podcast.rank.
Is that a new suffix?
I don't know.
Podcast?
I don't know.
.show?
I hope.
I think .show is a suffix. www.SmarmBros.show. It'd have to be simpler than that, though. It'd have to be smarm.show.
Smarm.bros.
We can't tell people because they're going to steal it.
.bros.
Smarm.bros.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have to get smarm.brothers for the old people that don't get it.
No, we don't want
mess
old
it
people.
up over and over again. For Travis Kenny's, for his sake, though, he was incredibly out of it by the end of our show.
Yeah, I can relate.
Because he was on quite a lot of barbiturates.
Yeah.
As they're called. And
it's the funniest class of drug.
He crushed and snorted because that's the preferential to swallowing them.
Yeah.
Like a normal person. He was supposed to be on our show last week, but he's a grandpa and he was playing with grandkids. You know how it goes, I guess. I don't know how it goes.
Family is important.
We need the Smarm family to step it up and give us a
Smarmily.
Smarmy, yes. Smarmaltary.
The Smarmily and then
we need our Smarm soldiers
make some
to
toast.
Get to the battlefield, the Smarmal field.
Make some toast and slather it up with that Smarmalade, that orange Smarmalade, and just eat it up. Crunch, crunch, gulp, gulp.
Anyways, it's effortless, virtually effortless. iTunes, subscribe to our show. You got to make an account and stuff like that, but I think most people already have that if you have an iPhone, right? You have a Apple ID, is what they call it.
I don't know.
Well, we're Android guys, right?
Yep.
I would be an iPhone guy.
Droid.
Well, we'll see how the next iPhone comes out because they're getting better and better, and they're more down my alley. Like, this phone is almost too small. Like, I really like a large phone, and,
You want one of them phablets?
Well, I've had several phablets, and I tend to gravitate towards that form factor. It says Miami on it, huh? Miami beer.
This phone here is about as big as I want. Like, any bigger and it's too big for my hand.
I've run it. Well, I like having a larger screen. I'll load a podcast file onto my phone. It's 3 or 4 hours. And I like having better resolution so that I can drag on the progress bar past commercials and stuff like that with more accuracy. Mm-hmm. And one of the problems with this phone is Nexus 5X or whatever, made by LG, tremendously great device. If you're LG and you're watching this, we would love to have you as a sponsor. When you go to drag to the side of the screen, it doesn't have a full the touch sensitivity ends a couple of millimeters from the outside of the screen. So I can't drag it to the 2-minute mark on my Gary and Dino show, which is 4 hours long. I can only drag it to 7 minutes.
Does that only work on Google Play Music?
That's how it is on that and Power Amp, which is the other top-rated music listening app.
But like you can
on Power Amp though, you can actually there's a fast forward button you can hold, and that's how I used to do it. So that's another kind of workaround.
Can you select the feed for the podcast and like subscribe to it that way? Is that how it works?
I just download the MP3 from their website because it's a subscription show or whatever. Has a paywall.
Yeah,
but it's worth it. Worth it. So, by the way, the Gary and Dino show, which we love.
You love.
I definitely love.
I've never listened to it.
You will probably love it. I figured out that some of their first episodes are still up on iTunes. So if you haven't heard and you want to listen to a couple of those for free, go to iTunes and check that out too. That's what I'd recommend to you. Although they said it's like their first episode, so they're really bad. So it's not nearly as funny as the current ones.
I don't know if I can relate to that at all.
No, bad podcast, never. The ones with the minstrels and the bards was kind of funny. They were talking a lot about Jews.
That was just the guest, that particular guest on that episode. So
it was a bard,
which wasn't that great. It was a pair of bards.
Ah, okay,
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because there was a lot of interplay between a couple of the people, and I couldn't tell what was going on. It was just very confusing to me.
It's a very canonical podcast. Hello from the Magic Tavern. It's a great one I've been listening to.
We have a lot of sister podcasts that we'd like to promote. So Gary and Dino show. Hello from the Magic Tavern, Mystic Tavern.
Magic Tavern.
You guys are great. Tremendously good show.
Well, it's nice. It's a bunch of
Bang, obviously.
It's a bunch of improvisers, comedy improvisers that do a podcast.
We're improvising.
Yeah.
Like we don't prepare at all for this. I mean, if the amount of preparation we do is pretty much nothing.
Definitely for me.
Well, you prepared a little bit this week. You were like, I'm going to need some beer from Holland.
Well, no, like I said, I actually bought this for D&D last night.
Didn't get through it?
And then still had it in my trunk when I came here. And that's why I brought it
beer.
up. Yes.
Nice. Give it that trunk stank.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Got that trunk beer.
All right. You're scaring me now.
Got to watch a video to see what's going on here, folks. If you watch our video, can you give us a thumbs up? We have a ton of views, and I feel like only a couple of you guys are thumbing us up. Context. Assemble the Smarmy. Let's go, you guys. Come on. Give us some good ratings, some positive reviews. Tell you what. Our first positive review, we'll have Rich go out and buy a bag of limes. We'll mail it off to you.
Oh, gosh.
It's limes now, though. We've moved on from the lemons.
This is my only responsibility on the podcast.
Tell you what, here's what we'll do. Like, since I already buy bags of limes, I'll leave a couple of limes in the bag, and we'll just mail you, like, the remains of a lime bag.
Yeah.
Lime bag Daryl.
Lime
bag Laryl.
Lime remains.
So we'll give you like 3 or 4 limes. And tell you what we're going to do is we'll sign the limes in Sharpie. And then, that'll be like our thing. Okay? So if you want a free bag of limes, I'm sure there's some, don't hire any lawyers because I'm sure you're not allowed to like mail fruit that's expired and signed. But it's not fruit.
Just put some dry ice in the...
No, I'm not even going to go that far. I'm just going to mail it and say it's like replacement dog testicles or something. Nudicles, I think they're called.
Yeah.
It's an actual product. Are you okay over there? You have the hiccupies?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah. You look like you're in pain.
Don't worry about me.
Well, I can't help but worry.
I'm going to be okay.
I think that's, for hour one, like those are the most important things on my mind. Like really getting you guys to rate us, subscribing to our show. If you watch it, if your preferred method of listening is by watching on YouTube, which is the case for at least 18 of you a week, because that's our average view count right now. It goes up, over time. But if your preferred method is YouTube, see that little thumbs up button on the video down there? It's going to be at the bottom. Thumbs up. Not the one that looks like this, the one that looks like that. Okay? Not this. That's not what you want.
No.
You want this one.
Yeah.
Okay? Thumb up. Hit that button. And Nobody will know. Nobody will know that you thumb up the button. So you don't got to explain to your friends.
That's the best way.
So you don't got to go and explain to your friends and family like when they come up to you and they're like, "Hey, we saw that video that you thumbed up. Like, what was that all about?" You don't have to. You're never gonna have to have that conversation. I know it can be awkward.
Don't be embarrassed. No one will know.
Well, the second part of that is key. Okay, nobody will know, so you don't need to worry about it. Unless your Twitter account's connected or one of those kind of things, then everybody will know. But if you really want to be bulletproof, just disconnect that. It's one of my hacks.
There are a bunch of situations in which everyone may know, but it's best to just plan on no one knowing.
Oh, I mentioned earlier. So I overheard while I was filling out I went into the whole story about the truck and stuff, and while I was filling out the paperwork, there were two ladies at the front desk, and the one that wasn't helping me was on the phone with somebody, kind of depressingly talking to somebody like, "Yeah, we're going to need payment on that storage facility within the next 5 days, or else we're going to have to auction off your storage facility," because you mentioned that earlier.
Storage wars.
And then she was like, "Well, the payment needed here is, let me check, $750. So this person literally just didn't pay for their storage for like 6 months, at least in a row. And like, how do you stop paying? How does it not matter to you that much? You just stop paying. They report that stuff to your credit agencies and shit like that. They have to. Otherwise, you can just keep it there and just take it whenever you want and then never ever pay.
It's sort of what I do with my problems is just pretend that they're not there, and then I don't stress out about them.
Well, what does your therapist have to say about that? Are those delusions of grandeur?
Oh, it's not grandeur at all. It's
grandeur.
Delusions of fantasizing about being Ron Livingston's character from Office Space, where I'm hypnotized to just be chill, not care about anything. And I just hypnotize myself every morning in the mirror. Self-hypnosis. Look it up on YouTube.
'Cause I'm good enough. I'm smart enough.
There's lots of great videos on YouTube for self-hypnosis to make yourself into a better you. And that's what I do.
I've had a bunch of phone interviews in the last month. And phone interviews are the worst type of job interview I've ever had in my life. It's just horrible. Like, I've done lots of different types of interviews. So I've done the one where it's like a group interview where you're there with like 20 other people.
Mm-hmm.
And you all have these group activities that are just retarded. Like, really stupid.
It's like...
And...
who's not going to get voted off the island?
They're hiring
who gets immunity? They're
hiring 2 people, and they have like 20 to 30 people show up for this one interview for 2 positions that don't even pay that well because only stupid companies do this. The one that I interviewed for was Apple, by the way. So, and it was an Apple store. It wasn't even like real Apple.
Were you going to be a genius?
And I just got so turned off by how like fakely happy all of the employees that were doing the hiring there were. Like, really, like, I was just like, whoa, you're scarily, fakely you're not really happy.
What if Apple gives them some sort of like special apple pill that like changes their neurochemistry?
They're drinking the apple juice.
They're drinking the apple juice.
The apple juice. Yeah. Well, like, I got really turned off by that, but also like the interview was really awkward because like, I don't know, I didn't get that job, obviously.
You weren't hip enough.
But I partway through the interview, I just kind of gave up, and I was just like, I don't really want to be here, but I don't want to leave, because, maybe they will hire me even because I'm very qualified to do this. And
you didn't have that, like, apple flavor of edgy that they were looking for.
I needed to be on some, like, antidepressant meds to properly fit in with that crowd.
Yeah, man.
And I just wasn't... I don't want to fake who I am that much. Like, I can sell really well, and I can really connect with people and be a happy guy and smile and talk with a really comforting tone. And you'd like to do that, wouldn't you? I can do all that kind of stuff, and I can really take care of people and make them like me. But there's no way I'm going to pretend like I have a job that pays hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and I love it every single day, and it's what I want to wake up every single day to go and do. And I wake up in the morning, I'm like, why am I not working at the Apple Store right now? What the fuck? And I'm like upset when I'm not at the Apple Store, and then when I get to the Apple Store,
where's my?
I need my iPhone. Oh, where's my MacBook Pro? Oh God, where's my iPod? Where's my Apple TV? Where's my Steve Jobs? I need to jerk off. Steve Jobs. Like. No, that's not
I'm
who
gonna
I am.
Put on my comfort turtle.
Anyways, so at the end of I've done that type of interview. I've done I haven't done the like Skype interview. Like I would think these guys would just Skype interview me because I would kill it in a Skype interview. It's
2016. They have no
I've done one
excuse
Skype
to
interview,
not
so that's a
Skype interview.
I got like I got feedback for the job, and the guy was like, "You were really, really good. You were probably our best, but we just hired somebody who had a little more experience than you." So it was like, I did one Skype interview and it went really well, but I didn't get the job. Mm-hmm. But I've interviewed, you're going to not get 90% of the jobs you interview for. So, and then the other thing too is like, so the way a career is supposed to work now in today's society is you don't fill out resumes and send them out to as many different people and hope that you get a job. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. That's not how it's supposed to work. The way it's supposed to work is you use your contacts in the industry that you really want to be in, and you go to trade shows and you go to conventions and you establish relationships with people from other companies, and then you use those relationships later on to get you your foot in the door so that you almost have the job before you have it.
Networking.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Here's my card.
And I'm
be right back.
I'm almost playing the long game for that. The long game. Yeah, we're going to be right back, everybody. We'll be right back. One of my favorite websites in the world, in the universe, in North America, in America at least, is Amazon.com. You know how I get there? I go to the website bit.ly/SmarmAzon.
There's nothing better you can do than go to SmarmBros.com/Amazon.
Nothing in the world. In fact, when you go there, you can buy all sorts of things. You can buy jar caps
for your mason jars, yeah,
or any kind of jars.
Really?
Well, mason is just one kind of jar.
Okay. You can also get a Stettler 92505 mechanical pencil for your drafting needs.
Is that like a regular mechanical pencil, or is it better?
It's better. It's the best mechanical pencil. Well, it's got a clicky on the end where you click it and the lead comes out.
You could probably get your lead there, too. Lead is like a renewable thing.
Yeah, you can buy tons of lead there. You can also get a silicone skin for your Steam controller.
Listen, guys, hold on. Let's not move on yet. So hold on. So SmarmBros.com/Amazon. One of the things you can do is you're going to need pencil lead every month. Use their subscribe and save function, but make sure you go there by going to bit.ly/SmarmAzon.
SmarmBros.com/Amazon will work as well. You can also go there if you need to order a plastic poster tube with a shoulder sling.
I don't know about those shoulder slings, though. Like, is that the most comfortable way to transport it? What's your opinion?
I think that if I'm going to have a poster tube that I have to carry around, I want it over my shoulder, baby.
Mr. Travis Kenny, what do you think about the shoulder tube?
I love the shoulder tube. I love the easy opening top. I love to pull that poster out. I like to hold that poster up with my left hand and then jerk off violently with my right. And I actually order my lube off of SmarmBros.com/Amazon.
That was valuable insight. Thank you so much.
What else can you get on Amazon?
You can get a Corsair K70 mechanical keyboard.
Keyboards are awesome. You use them to type things.
You can join the clickety-clack #PC Master Race, clickety-clacking your night away.
You know, a lot of people complain about noise, like things are too loud, but not about keyboards.
I want my keyboard to be so loud that every time I press down a button, it like burrows into my head like some sort of alien.
The favorite thing that my neighbor keeps me up at night with is his really loud keyboard. Here I am trying to sleep at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and all I hear in the adjacent room is clickety-clack on the keyboard, and all I'm thinking is, I know exactly where he went to get that keyboard. And where did he go? SmarmBros.com/Amazon.
bit.ly/SmarmAzon.
It's the best place to keep people around you up late into the night.
You could also buy some earplugs and quit your bitching.
Nobody wants to use earplugs, though. You know why? Because your ears are a precious place where you listen to the show. bit.ly/SmarmAzon.
SmarmBros.com/Amazon.
And we're back. You're on the SmarmBros show. Yellow. Hello. You're on the SmarmBros show. Now, as I was saying, so sort of just sending out resumes to a lot of different places, but the places that I'm getting the most opportunities are places that I know people or I've worked at before. So like earlier today, you were with me, so you saw this. I got a call from somebody who works in recruiting department at a company that I'm very familiar with, and she's sitting there telling me, yeah, we got 2 jobs that are coming up. This one's going to be available in the middle of August, so forth and so on. And I'll get you an interview. Like most of the places I'm just sending resumes to, I'm not getting interviews for. So look at that. All right, so we're doing some beer reviewage.
This is the classiest beer that I've ever drank, I think.
So it's Holland. It's a beer from Holland. If you're watching the video, you can probably see because Rich smartly pointed the cans toward the screen for product placement purposes. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of steal an idea from a lot of people. I'm sure have had this idea, but Gary Zabransky. So, these glasses are from IKEA, and they're $2 a piece. So you take what is an otherwise shitty beer, and I'm just pouring it like how a redneck would pour it. Okay, I'm giving it a nice foam head. In fact, the more foam, the better, because foam, it actually helps aerate the beer nodes, the nodules. And as you can see, like if you look at mine and you look at yours, see the way the light reflects it. You see the bubblies that come up from it. Okay.
Yep, I got those too.
Yeah. So you take it, and then and now you have ample room for your. So I'm going to drink some of the foam. Hold on. What's the saying, by the way? Is it beer after liquor, never sicker? Or is beer before liquor?
You can make it sound whatever way you want in order to enable yourself.
I like that foam. Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Well, no. Do you know what the actual saying is, or is it literally what you just said? It's like doesn't matter.
You can flip flop it very easily. You can say.
The idea is you don't want to combine beer and liquor.
You can say...
Right? You don't ever want to do it, even though some people do better with beer before liquor and some people do better with liquor before beer,
You can say beer before liquor, never been sicker. Liquor before beer, and you're in the clear. Or you can say it the opposite way, and it still rhymes. And you can say,
Right.
Liquor before beer.
Or liquor after beer.
Right.
Right? You could say instead of before, just say after.
Yes.
Well, I can say so wait, yeah, exactly. So you got to stick the nose in. So we poured this beer that's imported from Holland. We poured it into a glass. You can stick your schnoz in there and go, give it a nice...
smells like beer.
Mine kind of smells like cat and human urine combined. And yeah, not just one, but both of them. Big shout out to our Holland Beer Company that brews this beer. You guys probably can't figure out, judging by the green can that it has. Well, that's like the nose on it is very pungent. Very it's not very pungent. It's just very not good. It's very Well, I'll take a sip now. Here, hold on. I'm gonna suck an air over your top of your tongue. I just don't taste anything.
It tastes better out of the glass.
It just tastes like water. The glass is supposed to make it worse. It's supposed to give you the worst. Well, hold on.
Well, these are not the proper beer drinking glasses either.
Yeah, well,
like,
the beer glasses are similar shape to this one. If you're not so similar to this one.
If you're a 3 Sheets aficionado, you'll know there's different shapes even for every different kind of beer. Like for a lager, there's a certain shape of glass. For and most beer makers will come out with signature glasses that is best for their beer. So you can get as snobby as you want with it, is what I'm trying to say.
Point is, I had a vodka lime and some bubbly water, and now we're moving on to some Holland beer. I don't really taste anything. It's just like it tastes like water. It smells like cat and human urine combined. A little, like very, very faintly. By the way, I'm really reaching for that scent. What do you want to call it? This is the Smarm beer review.
Smarm tasting room.
SmarmBrew. SmarmBrews.
There we go.
SmarmBrews Reviews.
SmarmBrews.
SmarmBrews Reviews. and we have a Holland Beer. Maybe that's how we do it. We never say what beer it is.
Right.
We subscribe.
We
the
don't want to. We don't want to do.
It's a green can.
Guerrilla marketing for them
from Holland. If you watch a video, you can see it. We're not going to blur it out. I don't have those special effects.
Buzz marketing.
Yeah. Word of mouth. Well, Holland Beer. So that's our Holland Beer review, I suppose. We'll kind of see how it goes as it warms up.
I think it tastes better out of the glass than it does out of the can. So, pro tip for anyone who's drinking beer out of a can: maybe you have a special koozie that you put your can in, but
they need some wine glass koozies.
Pour it into a glass.
It's key to know.
You won't regret it.
That's my favorite glass. Like, this is not quite his favorite, but wine tastes different depending upon the apparatus you drink it from. You know, if you drink it straight from the bottle, not going to be as good as if you pour it into a glass. This I can assure you. Okay, but I'll agree with you on that one point. That most beer glasses I've seen, IKEA sells beer glasses as well. They're pretty similarly shaped to this. They don't have quite a accentuated stem. Why I have the hiccups now? God damn it!
That bubbly.
God damn it! Yeah, look at the color. It's got an amber glow with sense of honey.
It definitely does look like cat urine and human urine combined.
I'm telling you.
I know mine fizzes like that from the bottom.
Well, other than the fizz, I'm thinking to myself, you know, it's a faint smell. It's sort of like, so pretend like you're in a field and you're looking over the horizon, and far off into the distance you can see an object, and you can't really tell what that object is, but it kind of smells like cat and human urine combined. That's kind of what I'm talking about when I say it smells like cat and human urine. It's not like this, oh, fuck, that smells so horrible. It's not like that, okay? It's like, it smells like 99% water, 1% cat and human urine combined, okay? So, maybe that's your thing. I'm sure somebody, like, they're into that. They're into, like, getting their cat to pee and then, like, drinking their pee. Like, how would you do that? That'd be crazy. I hope that's not a real thing.
Well, step 1, have a litter box. Step 2, cut a hole in the bottom of the litter box and lay underneath it. Step 3, enjoy.
It's like, what would you call that? A tiger shower?
No, I would call that a pervert.
Hey, you've said it before, though. Everybody's going to have their kink. And ultimately in life,
don't involve animals.
No animals.
It's not cool.
So kinks are fine other than animals.
Yeah, no animals, no children.
Wouldn't it be great if humans were the only species alive on the planet?
Nope.
And we just killed off all the animals? Except for the ones that, like, really benefit us, like, you know, dogs. Because dogs, man, is best friend. You know, you're never... Like, friendship is going to go away, I think. Like, you're not going to... Don't laugh at me, okay? So friendship is going to go away with time, and we're going to... People's friends are going to be robots, and they're going to be, like, online, and they're going to be, like, computer entities, and they're going to be things that aren't really people.
That means more friends.
Well, sure. Well, when I say, like...
So that, just to be clear...
Human friends.
There's a value judgment here, right? That a friendship with a robot entity is not as valuable as a friendship with a human entity.
Don't put words in my mouth, Rich. I'm saying that
friendship you're saying friendship would go away.
Let me answer your question, okay? Friends with humans is different from friends with robots, is what I'm saying, okay?
Why?
I'm not saying it's better or worse. Some people think it's better. Some people think it's worse. I don't have an opinion on the fact. I just know that based on what I'm seeing...
Why is it different, though?
Based on what I'm seeing, people are befriending. They're having, like, large social... People are being less social than ever, first of all. Let me tell you, okay? Tremendously
I don't
less.
think that's true.
Tremendously less social, okay? The ways in which you're being social are online. They're all over the internet, okay? Look at how nightclubs are.
And
Look
again,
at how popular nightclubs are.
And again, that's not... So, this is like the old man looking at the kids. There's never been a generation that's looked at the way the kids are nowadays and thought they're better. It's never happened. Like, every generation looks at the next, especially with the way they interact with each other and the way they communicate, and they think that it's worse, and things are breaking down, and they're crazy. Like, even 4 or 5 generations ago, you know, with, in the 50s, that's not that long ago.
I don't taste anything.
In the 50s with, the old timers that were in the war looking at their kids meeting each other at soda shops was like, they're barbarians, right? So it's not less social. The ways in which we're able to be social are changing, but I think less is wrong. I think we're actually much more social than we have been before. But again, the reason you think it's less is because there's a value judgment happening, even if it's subconscious in your mind, that the social interactions that you have online are less valuable than the social interactions you might have in person, which remains to be seen. There's arguments for and against that for sure. And I'm not totally convinced that it's true one way or another. But
you don't think that at some point somebody will just be able to be alone by themselves playing like video games forever? Like one big lifelong video game, and all of their friends are AI in this computer game that they're playing. And
well, I think if the AI...
I know people like, by the way, I know people like that, and I've played lots of MMOs in the last 10 to 15 years, if not longer than that. And I know people that they don't do anything other than play like all they do is play MMOs. Like that's it. They play this, and it's usually one at a time. They don't play like tons of MMOs at one time, and their entire social circle is just in that one game. So what's to say that doesn't move to an all computer generated version of that at some point in the future, right? So what I'm trying to say is when I say that people are becoming less social, I mean it in that way, meaning there's the way that they're becoming. So I agree with you. The way in that they're becoming social is less human to human, less in person social interactions, right? And more use through the use of technology and that kind of stuff.
Just like, a couple decades ago, people were being less social because they weren't writing letters as much, and they were instead being more social through technology, of the new technology of the telephone. It's sort of the same thing. But on a point you made a second ago, I think the person that lives and is on their computer or on their VR headset or whatever, their augmented reality room all day, and they're only interacting with AIs, I don't think that person is alone. I think if the AIs, I think at a certain point they will be, but I think if the AIs get sophisticated enough, then I at a certain point you can't say they're alone anymore.
Right. Well, my whole point is we should probably eradicate all animal life on planet Earth. And
I know you're trying to do that yourself.
No, I never said that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, no, I mean just with how much meat you're eating all the time.
I haven't eaten any meat in over a week, except for today. I ate some fish. Fish isn't really meat, though. They don't feel pain. There's more and more research coming out that says that fishes don't.
Don't be racist. You also had some cephalopod.
Oh, I didn't. Yes, counts as fish to me, though.
Nope.
I just think fish is.
See, you are just such.
My opinion is, if it smells like a dumpster, it's fish. Okay, so if I'm eating some squid
beer is
and
fish?
some. Well, I don't. Beer is like how many cats are peeing in dumpsters? Come on, they're peeing wherever they want.
Yeah, dumpsters.
Humans, though, they're at least a little bit. They're not so some animal. They're at least peeing in the dumpster, not just on anywhere. No, humans pee wherever they want. Cats pee wherever they want. That's just how it goes.
Okay.
It's like cats and humans are big peeing machines. Just like whip it. They just whip it out and just shoot it wherever they fucking want. At the 4th of July party, people were like peeing in the bushes and shit like that. And I was like, whoa, okay. Like, there's a bathroom here, buddy. You don't want to wait in line? He's like, no, I don't give a fuck. No women, though, luckily, because the talent at that party, there wasn't very much, let me tell you. Most of it was, all of it really was single moms. Or maybe they're not single, but they're moms, regardless. So it's like people just want to breed. They just want to have kids, and they just want to take their kids with them.
It's almost like it's programmed into their DNA or something.
We need some sort of, antivirus for kid having. It's like having a kid is a virus. We need some antivirus to protect you from that.
Castration.
To quarantine off. No, we don't need castration. We just need something that nothing changes except you don't have kids anymore.
Just sew them up.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm going to cut your balls off. I don't want you to cut my balls off. Do you have a scalpel-free version of that? I have a scalpel-free version of that, but my version, it uses a scalpel. That's what we need. Some robotic surgeons. Some sort of, but yeah, breeding antivirus.
Cheers
That's what
to
we
that.
need. Oh, there we go. Breeding antivirus. Woo! See, you hear that?
Ow! Ow! My finger flicked too hard.
I'm used to doing that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, $2 at IKEA, you guys. So these are pretty high quality.
I gotta
glasses.
use my bone finger.
I've broken like 6 or 7 of them though.
By flicking them?
So you can definitely break them.
These
yes,
are not
well,
indestructible glassware? Wow.
Well, like even the $95 glasses from Premier Crew are breakable. Our friends at Premier Crew, if you want to send us some fancy drinking glasses to drink our beer out of, we would love that because we love Premier Crew.
I want to get on
glasses,
Amazon.
But these are from IKEA.
I have this wish list on Amazon for a kitchen. Like it's my silicone kitchen wish list where everything is made of silicone. Silicone wine glasses that are like squishy that like
So you can put them in the oven?
well no, just so that A, they don't break, B, they don't transfer any flavor to your food. They're easily washable. They're squishy, so they're fun. And they're silicone. And silicone is great. It's
How
like
much silicone stuff do you own for kitchen?
not enough.
Well,
this is why it's
what
still
do
a
you
wish
own?
list.
What do you own?
I've
'Cause
got a silicone oven mitt.
Okay.
I've got a silicone spatula.
All right.
Uh,
Do you have anything that actually holds food and drink? Because here's my
not
thing.
yet.
So I own a silicone baking mat set.
Oh, I've got some silicone baking mats.
I have a bunch of silicone baking. I have one that makes like silicone, like it's a donut pan. And I have another. So the reason I got into silicone is because when you're baking with like nut flours, they're really sticky, and you have a hard time removing them from traditional baking apparatus. So you have to get silicone because it doesn't stick to anything. That's the best thing about it. So, and I have a silicone bread loaf pan tin thing. And the one drawback is it's just a pain in the ass to clean. Like you scrub the thing, you put it through the dishwasher, you rinse it off, and then it still looks like it has stains on it. It still feels greasy. Still it doesn't feel clean. Doesn't ever smell clean, obviously, but don't be smelling your dishware, let me tell you. It's dangerous stuff. And I like, pros and cons to every product, let me tell you, okay? Pro is you're going to bake your stuff and it's not going to stick. You don't need to use any oil even, it won't stick. The con is it's just a pain in the butt to clean. That's my opinion. And unless you have, a lot of cooking utensils that use it, cooking, containers, really, you're not going to see that.
I'm going to get a set of silicone bowls like this, and a set of little silicone pinch bowls for like different ingredients when you're cooking. You can have them all sorted out like on a cooking show.
There has to be a material better than silicone.
Colander.
There has to be something that comes out that's like it's hardened and it's not super pliable like that, and it's not stick. It's totally non-stick, and it doesn't give you cancer, unlike Teflon and some of those other things. Allegedly, they give you cancer. I don't know if Teflon's like a trademarked thing, and they're going to sue people if they say their products give you cancer, but they do. And don't sue us because I don't actually know that for a fact. I just heard it, seen it, heard stuff, heard stories, read things on the internet. On the internet.
Everything gives you cancer. You ever talk to one of those people? Well, everything gives you cancer, so
do everything.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I was thinking yesterday a lot about cancer and people who've gotten cancer that I've known, and I know this is going to get really dark really fast. So
it's all right. I'm drinking.
You're ready for it, huh?
You can get dark.
But you were saying more silicone utensils.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how, Teflon gives you cancer.
Just real quick before we move on, I was disappointed because I wanted to find like silicone, like eating utensils, like a silicone spork or like, and they make.
This is not hard enough.
They do make it does come hardened. Like, and what they do is basically it has
they
like
coat something,
right?
Yeah.
The only silicone like eatery is for babies, which is kind of upsetting.
Shows us where your priorities are.
Need to get a Kickstarter
Baby
going
rich.
for this. And
So it's like the silicone eating utensil for adults.
exactly. Yeah.
Kickstarter.com/silicone for adults.
Yeah. Silicone like plates. They
It
only
can be a real market. Like
they
look
only
at adult
make
wipes
they only
and
make
baby wipes.
silicone
Look at how long that
silicone plates for kids that
Yeah.
are like segmented plates. That's unfortunate as
took.
well.
Yeah. Come on,
Upsetting.
segmented. Come on.
Compartment plate.
So it's like a TV dinner plate
Yeah.
made out of silicone.
I used to be all about the compartment plate. Didn't want my food to touch.
If I could have my way, it would be socially acceptable to just eat from like a big bowl. Or
It
like
is.
a big, like, you know, like your plate is bigger and your food's just flatter. Like, right?
I don't understand. You
Well,
lost me.
Well, so I don't like piling. I don't like having a pile of food. I like having it be like 2 dimensions, like X dimension and Y dimension.
Right.
I don't like Z being part of the equation.
Like
where it's
your box mountain.
Dude, can you please drop it?
No.
Like forever.
Once it's gone, once I don't have to see it,
It won't be
when
here
I
next
come
week.
over
Then
here,
it won't be here next week. There, you happy?
we'll see.
You won't see it. You won't see it, but
So
it'll
it's
be
not
there in
going to be
spirit.
gone.
It'll be
You're
gone.
just going to put it back in the storage
Oh,
area.
it'll be gone. Let me tell you.
I'll believe it when I see it.
The problem with the storage area is I'm trying to figure out, like, if I have to move out of here and I won't find a new place for 15 days or 30 days or a couple months or whatever, I got to put my bed in the storage area. And I thought I wouldn't have enough space, but after kind of putting stuff there today, I have plenty of space, I think, for everything and the boxes if they have to go there.
Get rid of the boxes. Oh my god.
Can you drop it?
No.
This seems to really disturb you. I'll get rid of the boxes if you want to pay half of my storage bill.
Fuck you. I'm not going to allow those boxes through the door in our new place.
Well, that's not your decision to make.
It is.
It's 50%, and my vote is my vote.
No.
It could matter more. It could end up mattering more. Listen, I have a tremendous amount of respect for your hatred of boxes, but you got to calm down. You just got to calm down and not worry about it, because those all won't be there. Those all won't be there. I was going through them and like, I don't want to keep talking about, moving.
Anyway, food in 2
think-
dimensions.
Well, hold
X
on,
and Y.
wait. We'll get back to that. I'm just saying, like, moving and talking about moving is just so boring to some people because they're like, I'm never going to move. Or they just don't care. Like, they've never lived in one place more than, I know our listeners very well. They've never lived in one place more than 6 months at a time, so they don't own anything. They're more like you than they are like me. So me talking about moving it should be fascinating. It should be like, who is this wondrous creature with all of his stuff and his moving and having to move a lot of stuff? But it's never that way, okay? Like, moving is a simple thing to people that's just kind of stressful for a period, and then it happens. So, kind of like an orgasm. So, yeah, I really like seeing food, like, in 2 dimensions and not having it pile up. So, if we could have it would be fine for us a really large plate. Like, I have a pizza pan. It's like an iron, a cast iron pizza. Have you seen it?
Yeah,
it's
I've
like
seen it.
24 inches across. It's like really big. Like, if I could just eat all my food off that and have it be socially acceptable, I'd be happy camper. Because with that bad boy, I can chop up some potatoes and put them on there and like put a single layer of potato, like a single layer of potatoes.
I think
like,
I
if I
understand.
chop up enough potatoes, like it could be two layers, but like I could do a whole single layer with like several potatoes, like 5 or 6 potatoes.
Speaking of baking potatoes,
what's up?
the other day I just had tater tots for the first time in a really long time.
Did you like buy them from the
I didn't
frozen?
buy them. I didn't buy them.
They were at like a party and you like,
No, my roommate made them.
there you go.
But you're familiar with the tater tot form factor, right? Which is a little like 1-inch cylinder, basically, right?
Of course.
So these tater tots were like
I'm all about potatoes right now, Rich, and we're going to get into this as we transition
these
here.
tater tots were like little discs that were like, they're like maybe a 1/4 inch thick and like 1-inch discs, and they were so much better than the traditional cylinder. I mean, maybe it was just the novelty of the
Did
difference.
he make
of
them
it.
from scratch?
No. No one would ever do that.
So they were like potato pancake kind of tater tots. Or maybe it was like tater tot is a trademark term or like a copyrighted thing. So they have to like alter it to make them. I think that's what it is. Pretty sure. I'm like 90% sure. Let's look this up online. Chef is off for today though, so he can't actually help us. He wasn't able to be here.
It's too bad he couldn't. Yeah, because he knew you were moving today, so he didn't want to get
calling
roped
on my
into
friends
that.
to see if they would help me move. And I made it really clear, like, it's not a lot of stuff. It'll take maybe 2 hours out of your day, and then we'll get it done. It took about 3 hours, but that includes the time we spent eating, which is part of the move, because moving is an experience. And I was trying to get them all, and Chef was like, I'm not down with that. I even offered him some mashed potatoes. Didn't want to do it.
Surprised.
Well, so I'm about to venture into this thing. You ready? It's called the potato hack.
I don't think anyone is ready for this.
Look this up. So I think it's called potatohack.com. Yeah. So check us out. Yeah, Rich is he's gonna walk away for a minute. So go to potato. Or are you grabbing more beer? Or you can bring me another one. You can bring me one. He's gonna bring me another beer. So potatohack.com. There's a book about it too. So I've been. You would think, based on things that I've talked about in the past, low carb diets and all this kind of stuff, I feel really good when I'm eating like a low carb diet. Just because I feel really consistent. I don't have days where I feel tired and then days where I feel really energized and then back and forth. And I don't recommend this to anybody, but I don't recommend not trying it either. So I'm going to venture on this. It's at least 5 days. At least 5 days, all you eat, well, pretty much all, like 90% of what you eat is potatoes and spices and very little fat. The other 10%, you can have some butter or sour cream. Preferably not, though. Preferably butter and like hot sauce. And are you pouring that beer into the glass? Or you're giving it a nice foamy... You got to get... The foam is a good part of the beer. Look at how much foam you got. Wow, that's a good pour. Look at that. That's great. Hold that up to the camera and see the foam.
I'm kind of ashamed.
Oh, that's so good.
But
no, the more foam, the better.
Here's what I have to say about foam in beer. Sorry if I'm getting us off topic.
This is one big fucking
It's an amazing sensation when you go to take a drink of a beer that's got a nice amount of foam. This is too much. I wasn't going for this much. I was going for maybe half this much. But I've got like a solid 2.5 inches of foam here. But when you go to take a drink of the beer and you feel the foam, but the border between when it's the foam and when it's the liquid, and just sort of blurring that line, that's kind of my jam. That's what I like about the foam. Is the feeling of the foam and then the beer and
the feeling of the foam.
That whole journey that you go on with each sip.
Well, that's good. He had a nice pour there. And so here's the thing about potatoes, first of all. Let's say you eat 2,000 calories per day or 2,200 or whatever the number is people make up that's like you're supposed to eat this much. It's normal.
5.
And let's say it's about 2,000 per day and you want to eat only potatoes to get to 2,000 calories per day. How many potatoes would you need to eat?
20.
I've told you this before, so it's almost exactly 20. It's like a lot of potatoes. But it depends. That's 20 yellow potatoes. So for russets, you're probably looking about 10, maybe 8.
Right.
Because they're big.
Yeah, if you get
the good kind.
If you get the jumbo ones from Costco that are like 2 pounds a piece.
Yeah. Yeah, well, here's the thing. So I've been buying my yellow potatoes for a while, which are delicious, and they're the best. They're the best type of potato you could possibly buy. We were talking with our chef friend who's like, he gives me the worst answer you could ever give. I'm like, all right, Matt, which is better, Yukon Gold potato or russet potato? And he's like, I like both equally.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. I have to take a drink of this beer water. Starting to warm up. Starting to taste it a little bit more. Anyway, so he says, I like both equally. And then he gives me all the instances in which he likes russet and all the instances in which he likes yellow. And it's like, I knew that, dude. I just want to know which one you like more, okay, more often. Because I know why I like Yukon Gold more, and it's because if you cook it with the flesh, with the skin, it's not as tough. And it's easier to eat and chew through, and it's not as big of a deal. And of course it tastes better, but that's reflected in the price. Now look at this. So Costco, you mentioned Costco a second ago. Costco, Charlie's Health Hacks, Charlie's Frugal Hacks, shop at Costco, okay? Especially shop at Costco for potatoes, and here's why. I went to our business center. So the regular Costco, they sell russet potatoes. Yeah, 20-pound bag, okay? 20-pound bag, right? And they sell the yellow Yukon Gold potatoes, 15-pound bag. 15. 1-5.
15 pounds?
Yeah, it's a lot, right?
Like 5 more than 10?
That's like how much you could bench press. Oh! Anyways, so business center, 50 pounds of, and I bought it, 50 pounds of russet potatoes. You can see I have a 50-pound bag of potatoes in my kitchen right now. See, this is why, like, living in an apartment is so weird for me. Like, nobody that lives in an apartment would... Imagine if you had to move, and you were doing this a day before you have to move, and you have to now transport this 50-pound potato sack.
You need a pantry.
Exactly. I should have a pantry, frankly speaking. Maybe I'll convert one of my bathrooms to that or something like that. No. So 50 pounds of potatoes. So here's why I went with the 50-pound pack. Okay, so I was at the business center. So Costco, they have two types of stores. They have Costco, which is what you all are familiar with. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, I don't want to spend $50 on my membership. I don't want to spend $50. It's a horrible waste of money.
Walmart doesn't have a membership.
Sam's Club has a membership, which is owned by Walmart. Booyakasha. In your face, shut up.
Yeah, but I said Walmart.
Yeah, but most stuff at Costco is actually a lot cheaper than at Walmart. There are some things that aren't, though. Like Roma tomatoes are cheaper at Walmart than they're at Costco. This I can assure you. So, tremendously cheaper. See how I'm not even doing the Trump accent anymore.
I know.
I'm
just embraced.
I'm just talking vicariously through him. Or he's talking vicariously through me. So
you're transforming into him.
It's a tremendous transformation. So... You all right over there? Having some hiccups?
You don't need to keep asking.
Some bubblies? I just want,
I'll let you know if I'm in distress.
Not everybody watches the video. I'm just trying to create a sense of awareness for the listener is what I'm trying to do here. Oh, boy. Okay, so 50 pounds. So here, get this. So I was there. I was shopping. So first of all, one of the great things about the business center is it opens super early in the morning. It opens at 7 a.m. And this is one of those mornings where, like, I was up and I was buzzing around doing things in the apartment at 6 a.m. Okay? I was drinking heavily the night before and I passed out really early. So I woke up really early and I was I was really hungry and I wanted to start my potato hack, okay, a couple days ago. So I go to the business center, which opens at 7 a.m., and they have 3 types of potatoes. They have red potatoes. Ugh, who would ever want to eat those, right? They're only good in potato salad. That's it. No, it should be potato salad potatoes. That's what they should be called. That's just my opinion, okay? However, they're probably the best for you, okay? So if you're super nutrition conscious, probably shouldn't be eating any potatoes, but if you're super nutrition conscious and you do want to do the potato hack, red potatoes, as we can see here on this picture, it's 3 red potatoes, 2 Yukon Golds. Where are the russets? I don't know. You know why? Russets are shit. They're horrible. And this is totally obviated by the fact that 50 pounds of russet potatoes were $8.99. $8.99, 50 pounds. How much is that per pound? Here, let's open up the calculator. 8.99 divided by 50. So per pound, you're looking at 17.98 cents.
18 cents rounded.
That's crazy. Yukon Golds, $7.49 divided by 15. Almost 50 cents a pound. 49.99 cents, everybody. That's a difference of, what is that? It's like...
You've got the calculator up.
What's the difference between 50 and 17? 15 and 18? It's less than half. So... I ended up going with the russets, and I'm already kind of regretting my decision. They're not quite as flavorful. They don't love me as much. But So here's what the potato hack is. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm sorry,
You're
everybody.
over-prefacing.
The whole point of that diatribe is that Rich and I, we recommend you go to Costco if you're going to buy your potatoes, or Walmart. He says, whatever. We don't really care. But
That was
support
just
Costco.
a jest. Costco all the way.
Costco for your potatoes. So, and if you're going to buy your Costco membership, make sure you mention the SmarmBros to the lady who's selling you the membership. She will give you 18 bindles of heroin.
And a weird look.
3 hours with a prostitute of your choice, and several weird looks. You won't get any of that. Anyways, so here's the thing, okay? So in my adventures to learn more about health and be healthier, and to lose weight especially. So the reason the potato hack works is because you lose a lot of weight when you do it, if you do it correctly. Oh, hold on. No, I'm gonna pour it. That's enough head. That's enough head. Okay, No, you're not gonna hear it anymore. It's all good. You can see it on the video. I'm pouring my beer right now.
It's a sacred moment.
Good to the last drop. Imported from Holland. I got some Tokyo, some Dallas, some Miami. Oh, here we go. Too much head. It didn't give the nice...
Why do you got to do that?
It's a lot of foam. Well, so first of all, have you ever tried to eat 20 potatoes?
In one sitting?
Lay 'em
Only
out?
like twice.
You can't do it. That's what I'm trying to say. You can't do it. You can't do it. If you try to do it,
I've
you'll
gotten
die.
4 large fries from McDonald's before.
That might be 4 potatoes. So that might be, or 4 russet potatoes. So that might be 8 potatoes. If you look at, my mind thinks in terms of Yukon Gold. My mind thinks in terms of the Yukon Gold potato. I'm sorry. I just think in terms of that. I know the feel.
You're a golden
and the weight.
boy.
Nothing against russet potatoes because they're darker skinned or anything like that. Nothing against it. Nothing like that.
I think this is exposing something.
They might even be better for you in some ways.
Systemic.
Well, I think that russet potatoes, you can kind of taste the dirt when you eat them with the skin on. You know.
No, I don't.
Well,
I wash mine, so
you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
What?
I mean, you might want to rinse them off.
You don't want to wash your potatoes?
Yeah, because you want the dirt. The dirt is the soil. The soil is the gut bacteria, the probiotic. It's good for... You're giving me this weird look right now, but listen to me. Charlie's Health Hacks, okay? Rinse your potatoes off so they don't taste weird or whatever if you're going to eat them with the skin, okay? Or peel them, okay? Those are your 2 options. But if you leave the skin on, rinse them off... you don't need to wash them and scrub them vigorously and that kind of stuff. The dirt on the skin of the potato is good for you because humans are supposed to eat more soil. We're supposed to eat dirty food. We don't do it, and that's one of the reasons we're sick all the time.
God made dirt.
One
so
of
dirt
the many
don't
reasons. It's a nice little limerick. What made you think of that?
Just
beer talking.
Heard it from a bunch of idiots.
I'm really offended right now. But seriously, soil is one of the best natural probiotics for you. So, anyways, yesterday I tried to eat as many potatoes as I possibly could. I really tried to gorge all day on potatoes. And I got pretty far. I don't think I got 20 potatoes in, but I got about as close as you could get to that. And I was still at 1,800 calories for the day. So... even when I gorge myself and I'm I eat until, I eat till I'm full, then I eat till I hate myself, then I eat till I'm really, really nauseous for all 3 meals of the day. I did that 3 times. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I did that 3 times, and I got to 1,800 calories. So I was at over 300 carbohydrate for the day. I was very energized.
Well, and I think that the important thing to note here when we talked about this before is... The difference between my experience of eating potatoes and yours. So when I'm going to make baked potatoes, I don't think it's abnormal what I'm about to describe. I think most people are going to sort of understand what I'm going to say. They're not going to think it's excessive. I bake the potato. Well, first I coat the skin. I wash it. I coat the skin in olive oil
Olive oil.
And salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Bake the potato so it's nice and crispy on the outside. And cut it open. And I do the thing where you just poke holes in the top and then like smush it together so that it like splits open. I saw Chef Ramsay do that. That's where I learned that from. And,
my favorite chef.
Yeah. And then pat of butter.
Why are there maggots in here?
Pat of butter, one tablespoon of butter, usually, per large russet potato.
Take it easy.
Mash up the inside
bad,
in there. Salt and pepper inside. And then sour cream and shredded cheddar cheese and some bacon bits. And those are and then usually some Tabasco sauce or something. Some
I like that.
Some Chipotle Tabasco. And maybe some ketchup or some barbecue sauce as well if I'm feeling fancy. No, I'm not finished. I'm just going to say that's my baked potato
right? Russet is your
experience.
brand of choice.
I always buy Russets just because they're so ridiculously expensive.
We just went over the potatoes.
and they're huge.
Bang for buck.
They're huge.
So they're easier to, if you do want to peel it, it's easier, right? Because right. So perfect. So, well, what I was going to say is you are 2/5 of the way there in accomplishing the potato hack, and hear me out. I know you're giving me a weird look right now.
Yeah. Step one: take away all the deliciousness and all the joy.
Yeah. Potato. So salt and pepper, good. Chipotle, Tabasco, fantastic. But you can't be doing too. So butter's okay. Okay, a little bit of butter. Like you got.
How much?
First off, to do the potato hack, the reason it works is because your calorie count is so much lower, and the moment you add bacon, your calorie count goes way up. The moment you add cheese, it goes up even more. And sour cream, even more. And butter, even more, right? Like, at a certain point, your calories are mostly coming from the butter, cheese, sour cream, and bacon. Almost every time you make a baked potato. Now, I know that this is really depressing to you, and it was to me when I found out as well. But, trust me, if you eat... So, Today is tomorrow is when I'm going to start this. I'm going to try to do it for the whole week, and then on our next podcast, I'll give you guys my findings. I'm going to do it solid for a whole week without ever straying. So far, it's been one day potato hack, next day no potato hack. One day potato hack, next day no potato hack, because it's like, well, I started this the day before our 4th of July festivities. And then we had our 4th of July festivities, and of course I have to try the pea salad.
Pea salad was amazing.
It was great. The peas were very green, and it looked very delicious, and it was, and I had at least 4 servings of it. And then, so, off. Peas aren't potatoes, right? Then the next day, I was back on.
Me there.
The next day I was back on, and then, here we are, right? So, basically... the real potato hack's going to start. I'm giving you guys sort of my initial findings of doing it for 2 days in a row. And one of the things I noticed is this morning I had... So it's a high in fiber diet. And you know what happens when your diet's high in fiber? Like super high in fiber. I had to go number 2 like 3 times in a row this morning. By the way, my bowel movements occur in the morning like a normal person. Okay? I drink the coffee, so that happens.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing. You're just not normal, but a lot of people aren't normal. It's fine.
I had to go this morning, but I held it.
Maybe you had some potatoes.
I saved it for you, for your bathroom here.
Thanks for the Smarm bathroom. Yeah. We don't have ventilation, so it just wafts into the studio.
Yeah. Just for you, bro.
Thanks. It's great. Well, anyways, so super high in fiber. So if you, get on the scale... Most of what the weight is there is probably feces. Just saying.
Most of it?
Most of it. Yeah, because I weighed myself this morning before anything occurred. Then I weighed myself after the shittening, the 3...
And you only weighed 10% of what you weighed before?
I lost 5 pounds. I had 5 pounds of fecal matter.
But that's not most of your body weight.
That's not what I was saying. No. I'm just saying it felt pretty good to cleanse myself of that kind of stuff. So Anyway, so weight loss, I haven't yet. I'm going to give you guys a full report next week, and we'll see what happens on a day-to-day basis. Now to then, I've always kept a food log, so I'll share some of those findings. Charlie's Health Hacks coming at you. Episode 21 is when you're going to have to hear. So here's a cliffhanger for you. Is the potato hack a healthy thing to do? On paper, it looks good, okay? And I especially like I feel great on a keto diet, but it's nice to have kind of a break from that every once in a while.
Well, potatoes are in our blood. They're in our DNA.
Don't say that. I lost the most weight, though, when I was
Why?
Eating potatoes and juicing vegetables and drinking vodka heavily. That was when I lost the most weight. So I want to lose a little more weight. 190 isn't really 190 to 200 isn't really my jam. I'm still kind of unhappy with how I look. I've come a long way, let me tell you, but I guarantee it. But there's a little bit more to go, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to give you guys my hacks that I've learned, okay? And the best part about this hack is how affordable it is. So here's what you do, okay? There are so many ways to cook. First of all, you're kind of giving me that look earlier, like this is so boring without the bacon and cheese and sour cream and butter, okay? And it's not, okay?
I think everyone would agree with me.
No, nobody would, because you mentioned yourself earlier that you went through 4 McDonald's fries, and what do you eat with fries?
Just salt.
Ketchup, usually? You dip them
Not
in ketchup?
Usually, actually.
I mean, so
The
just
McDonald's
salt?
fries are so
Well,
ingrained in my habitual,
what is that?
They activate these certain patterns in my brain.
It's just seasoning. It's just potatoes and seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean,
They're deep fried.
ton of fat. So that's why fries don't really work with the potato hack, even though they are on just the surface potatoes. And it has to be very low in fat because your calories really matter when you're doing the potato hack.
I think it's important also, you're not, you're supplementing heavily as well, right?
Yeah, but you don't need to for this hack to work because you do it for 3 to 5 days. I'm doing it for 7 for you. For the listener, I'm doing it for 7 days. I'll go longer if my 50 pounds potatoes last, but I don't think they're going to last that long. I think I'm going to be able to blow through 5 pounds at least a day. So, and I've already gone through probably 10 pounds worth. I was telling you earlier, so you can eat potatoes so many different ways, okay? What are some of the ways you can eat potatoes? Fries, we mentioned that. You mentioned the baked potato, the quintessential way, the most caveman-like way to cook a potato.
Yeah.
If I were to bake a potato, the way it would work for me is I put the potato in, I bake it, I cut it open, I eat it with salt and pepper. And Tabasco's fine. Sriracha's fine. Ketchup is fine. Okay? So if any of these things, people who dislike sriracha, I don't trust you, first of all. I don't trust you at all.
Well, I mean, you can be like Matt Damon in The Martian. He ate Mars potatoes just with potatoes and ketchup. And then after so long, he ran out of ketchup and he just had the potatoes and he was fine. He made it back to Earth. So I don't see why you can't lose some weight.
Now you're talking some sense. Also, barbecue sauce. But again, a lot of these sauces have just a lot of sugar, a lot of calories too. You got to kind of...
At Safeway, they just
my
started
own.
selling a new low-carb, no sugar barbecue sauce that's pretty good.
I might have to try that out. I might be open to it. Look at the calorie count because the potato hack works because of the calories and because you're ingesting. So, 2 days ago, I only ate 800 calories in one day. And because I ate potatoes and I was full, and then I ate potatoes again and I was full again, and it was 800 calories. Yesterday, I ate 1,800 though. I was really hungry yesterday. So it's going to kind of vary, and there's going to be...
But like you said yesterday, you were literally stuffing yourself all day long, right?
Yeah, I was hungry, but I was also kind of not caring. I was okay, worst case scenario. This is the worst case scenario. I was super hungry, but I'm super hungry, and this is delicious. So the thing is I'm not eating them and being this doesn't taste good. No, it tastes really good because you can use salt, you can use pepper, you can use ketchup, you see what I'm saying? Tabasco, sriracha, barbecue sauce.
But for the average person who is used to a heavily sugarized diet,
Tons of MSG.
their palate is going to be different.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. This is going to work for a lot of our listeners, I think. But you have to have a little bit of discipline, just a little bit.
Well, I think there's based on what you've talked about before. I mean, I'm not, and this isn't to say this couldn't work or whatever, but
I haven't even got to the recipes yet, Rich. I'm going to give you some recipes.
I mean, you've said so often, like you had this thing that everyone eats all the time, and you couldn't even handle it because it was so sugary, right? So you can't say that your palate is not significantly different than most people's.
Everybody has a very individualized palate. I'll agree to that if that's what you mean.
I don't think everyone's is very individualized. I'm just talking about sugar right now, right?
Well, I mean, when you look at, fructose is what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about sugar.
Like sweetness?
Yes.
Okay. Carbohydrates are sugar, in my opinion. It's just sugar, But it's like every carb, like potatoes are like a natural carb, and a lot of their carbs aren't from fructose. Like in 300 grams of carbohydrate in potatoes, maybe 20 of them.
All I'm trying to say, and I don't think you can argue this. I think that from where you,
I don't think either. By the way, I'm just giving you guys my hacks.
From where you
I'm
sit,
a hack,
from where you sit, not having any sweetness in your diet for months and months and months.
So when I
on
taste
end,
it, I notice
basically,
it. Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you can sit there and say they taste super amazing, but when I say, I don't think you can just scoff and shake your head when I say that it would taste bland.
No, well, I think somebody who I get what you're saying now. Somebody who has that kind of a palate, like a standard American SAD diet or whatever, like they eat a standard American diet and they try this, you're probably gonna overdo it on the ketchup a little bit in the beginning, or you're gonna overdo it on the sriracha, or you're gonna overdo it on the whatever whatever your condiment is, because you have the potatoes and then you have your spices and then you have your condiments. So you're going to overspice it. You're going to use too much condiments, but you just got to watch it. So if you measure everything out, so in other words, if you're doing it from that perspective and you don't want it to be boring or whatever, it doesn't have to be boring. And here's why, because we're getting into now the recipe portion. Okay. So listen up, everybody. So baked potato, quintessential version of cooking the potato, the most probably genetically normal way to do it, right? It feels natural. You roast it over a fire. You put it on the end of a stick and you just kind of roast it over the fire, right? That's what baked potato is. In its, not really, but in its essence, it's what it is, right? When you
shove it in them coals.
In foil. And then
no foil.
So fries. So deep frying it, can't really, so you got to ease up on the fat for the potato hack. You got to cut out your fat. It's going to be a little bit depressing for a while. Fat makes me really happy if it's a good fat. So I try not to cut it back. I actually try to up it usually. But realistically, like, healthy people if you want to lose weight, you got to cut back on the fat, because fat doesn't have very many nutrients in it, first of all. In fact, it's probably the most nutrient-free part of anything that you're eating. So it's just lots of calories. So it's lots of energy. It's good for energy. High energy. It's good for energy. Okay. So fat is good for that. It's good for giving you kind of some mental clarity if you're eating the right types of fat, especially. Not good for the potato hack. Calories are what matter on the potato hack. Now, another recipe, though, is I like fried potatoes. Do you like fried potatoes?
Yeah.
So if you have a nonstick fry pan, you can just fry them. It'll be a little bit of a cleanup afterwards, but you can add a little bit of oil. You can add like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of oil, just so it doesn't stick and
I think it's
burn
a great,
horribly.
Another, just to add, just to sort of like insert a little hack into your hacks here. If you parboil potatoes and then cut them up, and then they fry up in like a couple of minutes very easily.
I'm getting to that. You're starting to get what I'm saying here, is that a lot of people can do this. So, fried potatoes, other than
Just real quick, what's your preferred form factor to cut the potatoes in for frying? Are we talking little like 1 centimeter cubes like potatoes O'Brien?
Yeah.
Are we talking slices? Are we talking little like pyramids? What do you think? We're talking hash browns?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a Matt Heblick answer and say I like it all equally.
Fuck you.
The reason is because like So I've eaten as much mashed potato as I have hash brown, as I have potatoes O'Brien, as I have fried potatoes, as I have in the last week or so. So I'm just telling you, everything's good. There's no wrong way to do this, okay? If all you like is... So when I did this back when I was losing a lot of weight, though, it was like potatoes O'Brien style, but it was like 3/4 inch cubes, because I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to cut them super small. But I could wet chop them in my blender, which cuts them a little bit too small, and I overeat them really easily. What I find is I eat less the bigger the pieces are. So if I make them really chunky, I'll eat less of them. What the fuck, right? You give me that, like, what the fuck look, okay? So, and that's
you keep
true.
saying I'm giving you all these looks, but I feel like my face is not changed.
It hasn't changed, but they don't know that, so just calm down. The listener doesn't know that. We're going to edit this part out.
It's like I don't even need to be here
out
for this part.
Do you have more beer? Do you need to grab another beer? Your glass is...
I do, yeah. I need to... If we could take a quick break, I think that would...
You want to take a break?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll be right back.
We'll get back to you guys with some potato recipes right after this. Here's a list of things you could have bought on Amazon this week.
Sex toys. Don't forget about sex toys on Amazon. Dildos, butt plugs, vibrators. They've got them all. Cock rings.
You know, if you're a male, you can also get the Fleshlight. That's right. It's a sponsor for like every podcast. We don't got them as a sponsor, but you could have gone to Amazon and bought it. And the way you get to Amazon is SmarmBros.com/Amazon or bit.ly/SmarmAzon. Here are some more things you could have bought. Jose Cuervo Especial Tequila.
Special shot glasses to drink the tequila out of.
You could have bought clamps to clamp down the shot glasses so they don't turn over when you're trying to pour drinks into them.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens. You could have bought a flight to put all the shot glasses in so that they all stay neatly lined up and you can bring them all to your party nice and ready to go.
With yourself, because you're drinking alone, let's be honest.
But hey, even if you're going to drink alone, it's still nice to line up 4 separate shot glasses, you know, so you can do them all in a row.
You know, they have so many types of shot glasses on Amazon, and to get there, bit.ly/SmarmAzon. Pac-Man themed shot glasses.
Shot glasses made of ice.
Ice cube trays that make the ice into a shot glass.
That too.
It's totally different.
They've also got galaxy shot glasses.
Shot glasses in the shapes of old cars.
They've got shot glasses shaped like female breasts.
Aside from shapes, you can also get images drawn on your shot glasses, such as shot glasses with pictures of other shot glasses on it.
Yeah, or shot glasses that have a picture of a gun firing a bullet and then a picture of spectacles underneath it, like a funny pun.
Listen, the point is, we know you're drinking, so why not make it a party by getting some more shot glasses and other drinking attire? And the way to do that is to go to SmarmBros.com/Amazon.
bit.ly/SmarmAzon.
And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Oh yeah! Potato recipes. Look at the head on that. Look at the foam on that beer pour. That's a thing of magic. So we have like 60% beer, 40% foam. That's how like a normal plebe would think about it, but foam is really the good part. Foam is what you want.
I just wish they could come out with a beer that when you pour it, it just ends up all being foam. You know,
Foam beer.
like 100% foam.
I think they have.
They would have to sell it in like an aerosol can, maybe.
No, they have those like, what are those bars that like sell you like a rum and coke, but it's in like a, you know, it's like a Listerine tablet. You know, it's like some type of new type of pub. Gastropub, is that what they are?
Maybe.
Yeah. Crazy pubs.
Or they have the special thing you can get. I thought about buying one.
Pub.
I thought about buying one. It lets you vaporize liquor.
You smell it, and it's like, that's your hit of, that's your shot of tequila.
You inhale the liquor.
Yeah,
exactly.
that tequila
and
shot was so good.
It gets you drunk. Apparently, it gets you super drunk really fast. Have you seen those? It's like,
I don't fucking care.
it's like this orb that you put the spirit in. It needs to be like a clear spirit. And then it has like
Clear.
a glass straw that comes out of a hole in the orb, and then you like heat up the bottom so vapor fills the top of it, and then you just do one of those, and then you get drunk. Vaporized liquor.
Imagine if you had that for the potato hack. Imagine. So let me give you guys some potato recipes.
Vape potatoes.
Yeah. We're in hour 3 already, people. Fuck, hour 3. Hour like 8 for you. You've been here a long time. We've been, what? You forgot we had all that moving to do earlier.
I have forgot.
We had the moving, and then we had some Jasmine This show brought to you by Jasmine Mongolian Grill. Okay,
Please sponsor us.
multiple locations.
I'll be
in
your
Washington
Jared.
State.
I'll be your Jared, Jasmine Mongolian Grill, except without the child molesting. And child
Probably
porn.
not the best spokesperson to offer to be.
I have some big pants.
Yeah, well, like, if you eat there correctly, if they paid for all your meals and stuff, I'm sure that you could eat there and make it work.
I would.
I was full after basically one plate today, and I felt kind of like it's still worth it if you get one plate and it's only fish, because of how expensive fish is compared to the other types of meat that's there. Okay, so health hack for you real quick in between giving you these potatoes
real quick.
Yeah, potato recipes. So a little health hack is, if you're going to eat a Mongolian grill, only get fish as your meat, because it's the most expensive thing there. And they're going to hate you for it, but they're going to love you if you tip them $1. So, which I always do. I always tip the cook $1. Like when you go, so you walk over to the chef that's like cooking your stuff, or the cook or whatever, or the, ex-prison gangbanger who's reformed, okay? And he's glad that you hired him. And you tip him $1. And the guy who was cooking my food today, he was doing it the right way. I saw this, so check this out. He added like a little bit of the sauce in the beginning. He was cooking it and getting a nice sear. Then he waited till the end and he added the rest of the sauce, and he let it cook for like 10 seconds, and then he put it on the plate. So it was like a sauce reduction. Oh, so good. Potato recipes. So baked potato we covered. Fries, you can't really do that, but you can kind of do fried potatoes. Okay? And you want to use, the less oil you use, the better. Might sound kind of weird because, the more oil you use, the tastier it is. But trust me, if you use enough salt, and salt isn't a bad thing, First of all, potatoes are super high in potassium. You get like a ridiculous amount of potassium from potatoes.
That's why it's called potassium, because it comes from potatoes.
Well, no, I don't know about that. I'm just saying, like, versus like bananas and avocados, you get like a good amount of potassium. So you're going to want to supplement. If you supplement, you're going to want to do magnesium, because you don't get that much from them. You get a little bit, but not much. And then you're going to want to supplement the other electrolyte, which is sodium. Thank you, Rich. And sodium comes in a form called salt when you add it to your food. So add as much salt as you want, as much salt as you're comfortable with. You're not going to be eating enough to really fuck up your blood pressure, so don't worry about that. I mean, again, I'm not a doctor. Dr. Rich is the one here who's a doctor, so he can write off on this or not. I'm just kind of giving you guys my hacks. So yeah, fried potatoes, and so mashed potatoes, obviously, right? So when you mash your potatoes, so by the way, for all these, I'm the most extreme example of this. Okay, so this is what you shouldn't do. You shouldn't, unless you really want to be perfect and amazing like I am. You can add a little bit of butter to your potatoes, a little bit, or olive oil or whatever. You can add a little bit of milk or sour cream or whatever, a little bit, just a tiny bit. No cheese though. Don't go to cheese. You don't want to be doing
What
too
about
much of
that powdery Parmesan cheese?
I mean, take it easy.
It's just sawdust.
You can add a little bit of that, but not a lot. Okay, so you got to, because again, like the moment you add a tiny amount of these other ingredients, your calorie count gets boosted so much. Okay, so you got to keep an eye on your calories for this hack. Okay, I rarely say that. Weight loss or health or whatever isn't all about calories, but it's very effective when you can limit it. So my rule is no fat. I'm trying it no fat, no butter, okay? No cheese, no milk. But when you do mashed potatoes, it's pretty common for people who do the potato hack to add a little bit of milk, a little bit of butter, just to give it a nice creaminess when you mash it. I'm going to get back to you guys next week with my recap of this stuff, but I mashed what seems like now at least 6 pounds of potatoes last night, and then I'm going to explain resistant starch in just a moment. But then you put them in the fridge, and you take them out and you reheat them. And the skins are a little bit too hard on russet potatoes, so I'm going to put them through the blender and see how that works. I'm going to blend my potatoes and see if that makes it a little bit more creamy, so to speak. So I'll get back to you guys on how this works. But a little bit of butter, a little bit of milk might be okay for that. Okay? Are you okay with me so far? Are you with me?
I just
things you can add.
My only request is that after you run the potatoes through the blender, that the only way that you eat the mashed potatoes after that is that you
drinking them.
No, is that you put them into like a toothpaste tube and squeeze them out of the tube into your mouth like an astronaut,
like a former used toothpaste tube that says like Arm & Hammer on the side or Colgate or something.
Except cross it out with a Sharpie and write
potato.
Right, food.
Yeah,
nutrients.
Well, so mashed potatoes, it's like quintessential. Here's another thing you can do. Okay, so you mash a potato, and then you fry it, and you make like a potato pancake, they call it. You mash it for mashed potatoes. If you're bored with mashed potatoes, make a potato pancake. Okay, so then you put it in the fry pan, little bit of oil, or not if you're going to be a freak like me. I'm going to use a silicone baking mat and bake and broil it to make a potato pancake out of mashed potatoes. Fantastic. Cover that bad boy with some sriracha. Come on! That's all you need. That's all you need. What else do you need? Cheese, sour cream, and butter. Okay, I get it. Yeah, it would make it better. Bacon, too, obviously. I mean, let's not
bacon
be
jam.
Idiots. But it would make it better, but that's not the point. The point of this isn't to be the most palatable diet, okay? It's incredibly palatable already. You just got to look. You use your brain, okay? We have these tremendously amazing things called brains, okay? They're fantastic. They're the best things that we have in our bodies.
Just pretend that it tastes good. Penis.
I mean, yeah. So, well, I mean, it can taste really great. So, by the way, other than salt and pepper, my favorite. Here are some of my other seasonings that I add: onion powder, garlic, powdered garlic or whatever,
Garlic powder?
Well, technically the Costco brand is it says it's like California garlic or something like that. Paprika. Smoked paprika. When you fry your potatoes and you cover them in salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, smoked paprika, dude, fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm not even joking with you. I could eat that every day for the next 7 days, and that would be my thing. That's it. Only that. With those seasonings. Fried. In little cubes. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to vary it or whatever, but, I'm just saying, if you guys haven't tried that, it's so good. Okay? So, but other than those seasonings, my favorite seasoning of all time is Montreal steak seasoning. Have you tried this?
Yes.
You got to get this stuff. It's by company Grill Mates or something like that. Not Grill Mates. Some other company. Starts with an M. McCormick. Montreal steak seasoning. So, and when I add it to potatoes, I like to add the normal version, but you can also put it through a coffee grinder, make it really, really fine, because the way you buy it, it's like really thick crystals and stuff. Might not be that great when you mash potatoes. Might be okay. It's okay for me, but some people, they might not be into that.
I like my mashed potatoes to be gritty.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want gritty mashed potatoes, mash them with the skin on, okay? But I'm going to blend them up, get back to you guys on how that is. Anyways, so mashed...
Maybe it's the dirt on the skin that makes it gritty, too.
Ooh, yeah. I'm telling you, Rich, you're talking about washing them and scrubbing them down with the sponge and the fucking, calm down a little bit on that. Just put them in water and like rinse them off a little bit and twirl the water around with your finger or something like that. But you don't need to really wash them off that much. The soil is good. Dirt is your friend. Okay. Refried after you mash them. So like potato pancake style is what I like to call that. So another version is you put a potato and you rice it. And the way I like to rice my potato is you can either use like a spiralizer and you can make fun little spiral potato like curly fries. You can make those. Or you could, the way I like to do it, and this is the like Charlie's Health Hack version of this. You chop it up into kind of smaller inch long cubes, and you put the cubes in a blender and you fill the blender with water. Then you put the blender on low and you let it rice it into small little pieces. Then you strain it and then you cook that. It's like potato rice. Really good. Really, really good. Trust me.
All right, so here's the only thing that I need from you if you want to win me over with this whole potato hack experiment.
This isn't about you, but continue. This is about the people. This is about you. I'm pointing at the camera right now.
I need you to make homemade tater tots.
Oh, easy. I was getting to that. I wasn't even there yet. I was so close, though. Next thing is hash browns. Here's how you do hash browns. So cheese grater or the version, the potato rice would work fine. Not quite as well as grating it. You grate it, and then you put it out on we usually have the cutting board here.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the cutting board. You take paper towels and you press the moisture out. Okay. So the reason I don't do hash browns very often is because it's a little bit of work. Whenever you have to press the moisture out.
I have something to add here. Yeah, because hash browns, I've actually tried to make hash browns, out of just starting with potatoes. And yeah, the problem is that they have too much water in them, so they just don't cook right. You'll burn them, they won't be done.
So you can attest. So I'm not bullshitting the listener right now, right?
No,
right?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
One other quick hack for if you don't want to go through the pressing the moisture out with paper towels on the cutting board is if you have a salad spinner, you can throw the grated potatoes in the salad spinner.
That works?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
I already have too many kitchen. You are telling me how many you said even like you have so much kitchen shit, and I'm just like I use every single thing.
This wasn't for you. This is for the listener, just like you said.
It's horrible. I'm gonna need to buy a salad spinner now. Costco sells a salad spinner, by the way. It's like $8, and I've passed by it when it's on sale, and I'm like, I would never use that, but it seems like something that'd be useful.
Just for the potato hack, you're gonna buy it.
Well, at the time was no when over time, like, I eat so much salad that it's because, like, I crave salad now. Like, I've said this before. Like, I crave salad. Like, I'm like, oh, lettuce and some tomatoes and
not spinach,
though. Not spinach. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Not kale either. I'm not a big fan.
I had kale on a pizza the other day. It was amazing.
Well, the worst part about that pizza is probably the kale. Is all
no,
it
was.
I'm just saying. Like,
it was the best.
I'm just saying, like,
no, the goat cheese was the best part.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, I would say that, like, kale is good for you, and spinach is good for you. But the only way I can eat those two things is if they're juiced through my slow juicer. So
yeah, sure, and juice the pizza too.
Or spinach, I only eat it if it's like spinach with a ton of cheese and cream, and like kind of like your version of the baked potato, which is potato. But it's mostly cheese and sour cream and bacon and stuff.
Not mostly. It's like 2/3 potato.
Calorie-wise, it's mostly
2/3 potato, 1/3 toppings.
Maybe if you're measuring by cubic inch of space occupied in the universe,
yeah,
sure.
That's the way most people measure.
But by calorie count, which
when you look at most recipes,
when
you look at most recipes online, they give like volume and whatnot measurements. They don't say add such and such calories of this.
Yeah, but
so that's the way most people cook.
They measure the calories of everything. So moving on. So that's a great like side point. So when you make the hash browns, press the water out or use a salad spinner, and then you can cook them. And you can fry them if you have a nonstick, or you can bake them. So I would prefer to bake them. Now, this is where we get to so you want to season this stuff.
Now
too.
you're going to blow my mind, right?
Well, baking. So first of all, Charlie's health hack. Get a silicone baking mat using SmarmBros.com/Amazon. Okay? Silicone baking mat. It'll simplify your life. Your potatoes won't... you cook potatoes on a cast iron bottom. What happens? The potatoes, they stick. And you have to take the freaking, the spatula or whatever, and you got to they're
Has
sticking
this
to the
ever
bottom.
happened to you?
They're sticking to the bottom of the baking pan. With a silicone baking mat, guess what? That won't happen. You know why? Because silicone, nothing sticks to it. We talked about silicone earlier and how we want a silicone, eating utensil for adults.
I want silicone everything in my kitchen.
So get the baking
Silicone
mat,
knife.
put the potatoes on it, bake them 400 degrees, 1 hour. You can cut them up into cubes or whatever, good to go. Or when you're making hash browns, you can bake them as well. And then you can even broil them at the end to give them a little bit of crisp on the top if they don't already have it. Yeah. You're in an area of bliss right now. We haven't even gotten to adding condiments or butter or sour cream or anything, okay? But you can do ketchup. You can do Tabasco. You can do a lot of stuff, sauces and stuff like that. But you can't really... You got to watch the fat content and the calorie content. You got to watch it. You do. You got to watch it. I'm sorry. It's a tremendous amount of watching you have to do, okay? But it has to happen. You got to do it. But you
got
can
to
get
watch it. You got to keep an eye on it. You got to make sure you keep it measured.
Well, the main thing is, the reason this works is because of the first thing I said to you, which may or may not have been 2,000 calories equals 20 potatoes. So just think about that when you're going through your day-to-day and envision eating 20 potatoes and how much of a fat ass you would have to be to accomplish
Doing it
that.
right now.
If you add salt and pepper, they add negligible amount of calories, but once you start adding sauces, it ups it a little bit, but once you start adding fats, it ups it a lot.
So,
And
like,
cheese,
if I were to
and
make the
all the other
fried
kinds of
potatoes that you were talking about, and then pour Alfredo sauce all over it, that would be bad.
First of all, yes. Okay. So first
Sounds
of all, yes.
delicious, though, right?
Second of all, it sounds amazing. But that's the thing is that so my health hack is not to pour Alfredo sauce over potatoes. My health hack is to pour Alfredo sauce over meat, because you can't be combining high carb with high fat. It has to be high fat and low carb, or high carb and low fat. That's the key to hacking your health, and that's the key. That's why the vegan diet works really well for a lot of people that do it. That's why a low carb diet works really well for a lot of people that can do it. In my opinion, this is what I'm sort of uncovering after reading countless amounts of blogs and listening to podcasts. You had to listen to part of the podcast I was listening to earlier.
Oh, God.
And you're rolling your eyes. You give me that face right now. There's just Jesus, why on earth
giving you
would
that face.
Yeah. So I can tell that it's a big deal. But and then one of the last recipes I'll give you, super easy, super simple. One of the easiest recipes you'll ever do in your entire life. I guarantee it. It's potato soup. And the way you do potato soup is... So first of all, before we get to potato soup, boiled and mashed potatoes. So you make the mashed potatoes. To do that, you boil them. Okay, you boil them in water. If you're going to do potato soup, what you do is you add water and you add potatoes. You can peel them if you want. I mean, it doesn't... Whatever.
Then you wouldn't get that dirt.
Well...
That good dirt.
There are pros and cons to everything in life. And the pros of the skin is you get the dirt, you get the probiotics, you get the soil. The cons is it doesn't taste quite as good. Mouthfeel isn't quite as good, and you get more mycotoxin content in certain types of potatoes that you've bought that haven't been organically, all blah, 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 blah. Trust me, try eating a potato with the skin on. Eat the skin. You'll taste a little bit of mold every couple of bites. Trust me. So, mold toxins, they're real. I'm serious. Although they don't really affect people very bad. They affect 1 in 4 people bad. Not everybody, though. It's probably less than that. Less than 1 in 4. I don't remember. There's a documentary you can watch called Moldy. Watch it. It has dramatic music that starts with, and a woman starts talking. My family, we were eating food.
Yeah,
yeah, and then we found out there was mold in it. It was horrible. I couldn't sleep at night. And yeah, it's not funny, but
documentary.
It's really funny. It's by the Bulletproof guy who has a big mold allergy or something.
Right. And all of the way he makes money is based on making sure people are scared of mold.
No, it's about, nobody provides a product that has no mold in it and is pure, and he does. So he's found his niche. So I don't know why anybody would hate on that. But those are the pros and cons to eating the skin. So when you boil it, so for potato soup, you probably don't want to have the skin on, right? Probably want to peel them. More than likely.
If you're normal,
this
segment isn't about being normal.
Well, if you have a blend tech or you have a, Vitamix, probably not a big deal. All you got to do is you cook them. You want to add 1 to 2 cubes, or you want to add some chicken broth to it, or some beef, preferably chicken broth will probably be the best. And salt. You can add a little bit of butter if you want. A little bit of milk if you want. But I'm not going to do it. But that's normal, I'm not normal, though. Not in that regard, at least. And you cook it. You probably want to cook it on, medium-low. You want to get it to boil and then reduce it. And then cook them for a while. And then either use a stick blender or, like I mentioned, like a Blend Tech or a Vitamix. Put it in the Vitamix. Make sure it's nice and blended. There's your potato soup. And it's mostly water and... very low in calorie. Very, very low if you don't use the butter and the milk. If you don't, super low. Can be incredibly palatable, too, if you use the salt and pepper or Montreal steak seasoning. Just tremendous.
All right. Well, this has been the Potato Hour, brought to you by the SmarmBros.
Yeah. Potato Hour.
It's sponsored by Costco Business Center Russets.
Yeah, 50 pounds for $9, $8.99. I was surprised when I saw that, and then I was trying to heave it into my shopping cart, and I was struggling to get it to fit all the way in. And but I made it work, and then I had to make 2 trips up to my apartment because I also bought some celery. And it's I couldn't carry the celery and the potatoes at the same time. I need both hands to do it. Celery and limes. It's a good combination, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
All
Great.
Right.
Limes celery has a lot of stuff, vitamins and
strings.
Shit. Well, you want to chop it up so you don't get the strings. Chop it up. The strings are shorter. Little health hack for you guys. Lots of health hacks today, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Holland Beer and health hacks from potatoes especially, and, man, all kinds of stuff.
It's been an amazing episode.
Another
one for the history books.
It's been okay. Do you have any more beer left? Have we drank it all? Should
I
go
don't
grab
want to
one more?
drink it all.
I'm going to drink one more.
You can have another one.
I'm going to have one more, and you can watch me drink it. And then we'll close out the show here pretty soon. I think we're about to close it out.
Yeah.
Do we have Robo-talk with Rich?
Not too much happening in the Robo front. I mean, I can...
The Robo got shut down. Got shut down.
I guess with Robo-talk with Rich, the main thing is that new season of BattleBots is still going on. It's amazing. Everyone needs to watch it. It's my favorite sport, honestly. It's really cheesy with... the announcers and the obligatory hot ladies there and talking about the robots and the preamble of which one's going to win and the backstory of the teams that build the robots and, rivalries. It's everything you want from a professional sport, but robots. And I got in an argument with someone at work. Well, it was friendly, but it was still an argument.
Is it one of your customers that you were transporting?
No, this was at the
coworker?
People that coworker I used to work with doing oil changes with. He still does that, but we tend to take lunch around the same time, and I introduced him to BattleBots, and I was talking to him, and we were talking about sports in general, and he's a big soccer guy. And I was talking about why BattleBots is more interesting than soccer. And the only reason he didn't believe me that BattleBots was more interesting is because he had never seen BattleBots before. But he watched a 2-minute clip of BattleBots on his phone on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's all it took to convince him that it was infinitely more interesting than soccer. And the next thing
Infinitely.
Yes. And the reason it's infinitely is because the next thing I'm going to say, which is next year.
Games can end in ties.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. Next year and 5 years from now, not much is going to change about soccer. Like, maybe there's going to be a soccer player who runs 10% faster in 5 years than the fastest soccer player now. And that'll be amazing, sure. Pushing the boundaries of human physicality, right? And that might be amazing, but robots are not on that same time frame. Like, the robots 5 years from now are not just going to be 10% better than the robots now. They're going to be like 500% better or something. So that's why BattleBots is way more interesting, because BattleBots in 5 to 10 years, I mean, get in now, because in 5 to 10 years, like, the robots, they're only going to get more and more intricate and more amazing. And eventually we're going to have like full-blown humanoid robots and more advanced weapons, and it's going to be more exciting and great. And I can't say enough good things about Battle. You're giving me that look.
Win Duffy look.
You're giving me that look. Yeah. You can't even make the Win Duffy look. His face is just too
I'm not angry
weird.
Enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's quite an amazing actor.
You got to get the inside of your eyebrows need to touch the bridge of your nose, and the outside of your eyebrows need to be up near the upper quadrants.
We're
of your
talking
head.
about Justified,
Yeah.
Justified, TV show Justified, and you guys, 2 people recommended it to me on my wall, so I've watched almost the whole thing in the last week, and it's.
You don't like it because it's not quite as good as Better Called Saul.
I like it. God damn it! Don't say. I gave it a 6 out of 10, which is more than a 5 out of 10, which is really good. Okay, so calm down. All right. I just think that Win Duffy is a great. If you haven't seen Justified, watch it just for that one character, Win Duffy.
I don't know. When you say things like, "Well, I guess there's one character that's interesting," that sounds sort of like you don't like it.
There are at least 2. Okay. No, I just don't think a lot of it's believable. Okay. I don't think interesting is the right word. I think believable is more my my take on it. I just don't think a lot of it's very believable. It's not very character-like. There's not a lot of character development, let me put it that way. So
there's human beings that don't develop all the time. That's very believable.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I don't have any. I mean, I don't really care that much, so I don't have specific examples that I can give. I mean, outside of just Boyd Crowder not being a real, that's not how it would work ever in real life at all, ever. So first of all right, all the characters get away with, all the bad guys in the series that get away with stuff, they would never ever get away with that stuff because we have this thing called DNA. Okay? And it's like they never use DNA in that show at all.
It's in the South.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Like, their whole shtick is like, well, it's in the South, even though they all use, I think the show's sponsored by BlackBerry or something, because they all use BlackBerries.
It's because BlackBerries are the best crime phone. People do corporate espionage and crime on BlackBerries.
Last week we talked about the show Humans. Do you notice what kind of phone that Humans was sponsored by?
iPhones?
Windows Phone.
Windows Phone.
Yeah, they all had Nokias. It's kind of funny. Yeah. A lot of shows. Another show, Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, they all
remember
have
that?
Windows.
Yeah.
Yep.
They went out of their way to like point it out.
Try
too.
as they might.
They were like, I have this really great camera. When they were in Paris or whatever, they were taking pictures, and I was just like, holy fuck.
Try as they might. Windows. They can throw money to get their products put in stuff, but
fail epically.
Unless they're willing to personally pay every American to buy their product, it's not going to work.
Well, if Microsoft actually devoted more than like 5% of their company to Windows Phone, it would probably be amazing.
Man.
But they devote like 1%. Less than 1% of their company is devoted to Windows Phone.
It's like NASA.
Yeah, a total waste of time and money.
No, like the U.S. government it's
Devote.
0.5% of their.
Oh, well, that's proper,
tax
though.
dollars.
That's how it should be, and that's how Windows Phone should be as well, because we already
Dude.
have iPhone and Android.
You totally.
SpaceX is way better than NASA. Don't even... you're giving me this look like you're all offended and stuff now, but, SpaceX, the nice thing about it is, like, their technology is up to par with current standards, whereas NASA is using,
SpaceX wouldn't be able to do things without NASA.
SpaceX wouldn't exist without NASA.
Yeah.
SpaceX.
How is SpaceX making money right now?
I don't really care about any of that. All I'm trying to say is NASA,
Right.
they're using outdated computers. Anything government related, okay? This is a Charles Shaughnessy Liberty Report, okay? The Jacob Charles Liberty Hour on the SmarmBros. Rich is retired from the podcast. He's giving me this face right now like he just wants to go home. He doesn't want to be here right now. No, we won't get into that. I'll just say that outdated government and a waste of spending. People that get paid way too much to use tools that are way too old in the most inefficient manner possible. Whereas a for-profit company like SpaceX is doing way more innovative things. Like launching a rocket and then landing that rocket later. Agree or disagree?
In order to prove that they deserve the NASA contracts so that they can make money.
Hey, I'm not anti the idea of NASA. I'm just anti NASA being part of the government. Why can't NASA just be like a company that like is really trying to fucking do crazy shit? You know?
Because no one will pay for it.
Yeah. Let's look at our damage here. So what do we got? So we got Dallas and Tokyo. Tokyo. Wow. 2 Tokyos. New York. Hey, I'm from New York. Pizza, bagels.
I'm walking here.
Yeah. Miami. You got the good stuff from Miami? Right? Tokyo. Oh, this is very Tokyo. Chicago.
Da Bears.
Mexico City. Ah, yeah, the booze. Mexico, yeah. It's not a bad damage. Not some bad damage done by our Holland Beer Company. Incorporated.
Yeah.
Legitimate Business Incorporated. I forget what show that was. I think it was Family Guy or one of those types of shows where it's like they cut off to like a non sequitur or whatever, where it's like, yeah, that reminds me of this time when I used to work for my Uncle Tony's legitimate business, and it cues out to the like company. It's literally called Legitimate Business, and a customer walks in, he's like, hey, welcome to my legitimate business. Legitimate. We've covered a wide gamut of stuff for you guys this week.
Yeah,
and I
think
hope that you're satisfied.
I think it's another, like I said, I mean, we're just hitting the heights again. Every new show that comes out, we're just raising the bar even higher.
I hope that you guys are satisfied. We've done a lot of damage here. We've at least killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 countries, 3 of which are Tokyo, which isn't a country. It's a city. These are all cities, by the way, apparently. I've had a couple of beers. Listen, female listener, I love your emails. Keep writing them. But can you please just calm down a bit in the tone?
Until you start to use her name, I don't think she will.
All I can say is, like, you know who you are. And you just need to give us a break here. And you need to enjoy the show and relax a little bit. It's people like you that make social justice warriors an okay thing. And it's not an okay thing. And you're not a social justice warrior, but you're like one step below that, okay? So, as far as next week is concerned and for the week coming, keep your beering going, keep your vodka-ing going, keep your weeding going, if that's your thing. In the states in which it's legal, of course, Rich and I are followers of the law, right?
In every way.
And listen to some of our affiliate shows. Make sure you check us out on iTunes and you subscribe and you rate us 100%, whatever that 100% may be. Maybe it's 5 stars. Maybe it's 5 apples out of 5 or whatever Apple's rating scheme is. I don't fucking care. Just make sure you rate us 100% and you write some comments that are positive in our favor. Share some of these posts on Facebook if you see them. I know that we have a lot of Facebook subscribers out there. We're at SmarmBros on Facebook, at SmarmBros on Instagram, at SmarmBros on Twitter. Check us out, okay? And let us know how your potato hack goes if you are going to give that a go here.
Yeah, do the
this
potato
weekend.
hack with Charles.
I gave you all of the information you need. www.potatohack.com. There's even a book written about it. That's been about it on SmarmBros. I am Jacob Charles.
And this is Rich.
We will talk to you next time, whenever that may be.
Stay salty.